2022 free course. My name is Jorge Vieira, and I'll be taking you through the full blueprint of how to run Google Ads for your Shopify store step by step. Next up, I want to give you a quick overview of what we're going to be covering in this Google Ads module of the course. The first thing that I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about the Google Ads platform. So I'm going to be covering the different types of Google Ads that you can run, and then I'm going to be covering all the setting up. So Google Ads takes quite a bit of setting up in order to have your tracking in place and all your products being reported correctly to your Google Ads platform. So I'm going to be taking you through the entire process in setting up your conversions tracking and your Merchant Center account, as well as Google Analytics and everything that you need to run Google Ads. And of course, the third part of this module is going to be the actual Google Ads strategy. So I'm going to take you through the blueprint for Google Shopping Ads and Google Search Ads, and I will be showing you exactly how I recommend that you set up your search and shopping ads for your Shopify store. In the final part of the course, I'll be teaching you how to optimize and scale your Google Ads. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing that I want to explain to you guys is that you need to know that there are different types of Google Ads. When we talk about Google Ads, we're usually talking about one of four different things, which is either search ads, display ads, video ads on YouTube, or shopping ads. These are the four main types of things that you can do on Google. There's a few other things that you can do, but mainly it's these four types. So what I'm going to be teaching you guys how to run is search ads and shopping ads. So from this point onwards, when we're talking about Google Ads in this particular part of the course, we're going to be talking about search ads and shopping ads. So now I'm going to show you some examples of shopping ads and search ads so you guys can know exactly what types of ads we're going to be running here. So for example, here we've typed rotating tripod for phone. This is the product that I have in my example store that I'm going to use to teach you guys how to create search campaigns and shopping campaigns. So I went ahead and entered the product name here. And here you guys can immediately see the different types of ads that you can run. Search ads are these ads right here. You see the ones that say ad here, they look like they're search results, but they're actually search ads. They have no picture, they have this title, quick description, and some site link extensions if you choose to set them up. Shopping ads are these right here. These with the pictures are shopping ads. So when someone searches for your product, they immediately get shown a few listings of the product with some reviews with the price and showing the picture of the product. If you click here, you're going to immediately be redirected to the website of whoever is selling the product. Now, what do you need to know before you start running your Google Ads? First of all, it's important to understand that Google is a drastically different platform when compared to the likes of Facebook, Snapchat, or TikTok, because these platforms are based on interest targeting, whereas Google works with keyword targeting. Now, what this means is that Google is the platform that can bring you the highest traffic quality. Because if you think about it, you're not targeting your customers based on the interests that they reveal with their behavior or with their searches in general. You're targeting customers that are already searching for keywords that are related to your product. So the people that will be seeing your ads are not just everyone in general that may be interested in something in the niche that you're selling in. They're specifically looking for your product. This means that you're targeting very high quality traffic and you're targeting people who specifically search for what you have to offer. But of course, if we want to get into Google Ads, we have to learn how to deal with a particular aspect that is not present in interest targeting platforms like Facebook or TikTok, which is keywords. Keywords are absolutely essential. They're the essential element in search ads, and they're even quite important even in shopping ads, because we'll have to optimize our titles and we'll optimize our descriptions to match our main keywords. So that is the thing that I want to talk to you guys first, and that I really want you to understand how to use keywords and how to select the correct keywords. First and foremost, if we're going to be working with keywords, we need to have an extension called Keywords Everywhere, which is this extension right here. This is an absolutely essential tool, I would say, for anyone that is working with search ads, shopping ads, anything that involves keywords. Now, this is a paid tool, but I definitely and absolutely recommend that you use it because it's not that expensive and it makes a huge difference. If you install this extension, all you have to do afterwards is get some credits. So one credit will give you insight on one keyword, right? So having 100,000 credits means that you're going to be able to look up 100,000 keywords. You pay for your credits get applied to your account, and then all you need to do is install your Google Chrome extension and you're ready to use Keywords Everywhere. I'm going to give you a quick example here of exactly what Keywords Everywhere does. Now, I've enabled my Keywords Everywhere extension and I'm going to search for the same keyword right here that we were using, and it's going to activate. So here we go. This is the information that Keywords Everywhere is going to give you. So the volume, apparently, funny enough, this keyword here that we use, rotating tripod for phone, appears to have very, very low search volume, which is actually very curious. But if we go here, it gives us a lot of information that is very useful around the keyword that we've utilized, like what keywords are related to this keyword that we've used here. And you'll see that this is extremely useful when we're trying to find our best keywords to target in our Google search campaigns. If you look here, what they're telling you is the related keywords and their search volume. So we can see here that this keyword Pivo has 90,000 searches a month with an average CPC of 0.53. Now, don't pay too much attention at the CPC that they give you here. This is not always very accurate, but the search volume, that's the information that is really, really valuable, as well as the ability to know what keywords we can use that are related to the keywords that we're searching for. So if you're following along the course, make sure to stop right now, install your Keywords Everywhere extension, buy a few credits, and then you'll be ready to proceed. Okay, guys, the next step is setting up a few accounts that we need to have, that we'll need to integrate in order to run Google Ads. So the first one is going to be Google Analytics. You need to have a Google Analytics connected to your Shopify account because that's what Google uses to communicate to your Google Ads and report your conversions. Creating a Google Analytics account is very simple. You can just start by looking for Google Analytics on Google. You'll get your first link, click the first link that shows up, and you'll be directed to this page right here. So all you need to do is click Start Measuring, and now you're going to need to create an account, and that's what we're going to do. So to create an account, we're going to go here and we're going to enter our account name. In this case, our store for this course is going to be called PixTrack. That's the name of our product. So we're going to put our name of our store in here so we can recognize the account, and we're going to continue. Now, account data sharing settings, we want to enable all of this because we want to be able to retrieve as much data as possible into our Google Analytics account. I'm going to click Next. Now, property name, we're going to call our store again, PixTrack Store. Our reporting time zone, it should be whatever time zone your store is in to make sure that the data is all in the same time zone. For this example, we're just going to leave it at US Los Angeles time, currency US dollars. So make sure to set this as the same currency that you have on your store. For this case, I have US dollars, so I'm just not going to touch this. And now this is important. Show advanced options, okay? Now, we need to create a universal analytics property because that is how you integrate the property with Shopify. So this is very important. If you don't do this, your integration with Shopify is not going to work very well. And then we're going to enter our website URL. In this case, our website URL is 2022 freecourse.myshopify.com. That's our store. We're going to create Google Analytics 4 and Universal Analytics property because Universal Analytics was the old way of doing this, but Shopify still connects through a EUA property. So we want to have both. We want to have a Google Analytics 4 and a Universal Analytics property. We want enhanced measurement for Google Analytics 4 property turned on, and we're going to click Next. Now, this is not very important. We just select the industry here. In our case, we're going to do computers and electronics. We're selling electronics. So business size, small business. And now we want to use to measure customer engagement, optimize, measure data, optimize advertising costs, increase conversions, measure monetization, no, not really. Analyze my sales, not app installs, not lead gen, and not others. So create. And now we have to accept and accept. And that's it. That's our Google Analytics account created right here. And that's our Google Analytics account ready to go. Now, we're going to need to have our measurement ID, but not this one. The one that we want to put in Shopify is the UA. So if you remember, we created a UA, a Universal Analytics, and a Google Analytics property. The one that we put on Shopify is the UA, so the Universal Analytics, not this one. So we need to go ahead and close this, save all of that. Here we are. So now we have our property here, and we want to find our Universal property, not our Google Analytics 4 property. So this is the Google Analytics 4 property. As you can see, it says GA, and this is the Universal Analytics property, EUA. So this is the one that we want to go and open. And as soon as this opens, we want to get the tracking code for this, because that's what we're going to be using for our website. This code right here is the code that we're going to be entering on our Shopify store. Make sure to copy this and write this down. We'll need this for later. Before we go though, there's a few things that we need to add on here. We need to set up conversion tracking. So this is going to be tracking all the conversions that we get from our Shopify store. So we need to go to conversions. We need to go to e-commerce. We need to go overview. And as you can see here, this report requires commerce tracking to be set up for view. So this is what I was just talking about, right? If we don't set up e-commerce tracking, we're not going to have any conversions data. That's what we need to do. So let's go to the settings and enable e-commerce tracking. So to enable e-commerce tracking, we're going to click admin, and this is our properties right here, the Universal Analytics property. That's the one that we want. Since we're here, go to tracking code and copy this tracking ID. So copy this over to a notepad file. We're going to need it to enter on our Shopify store. But before we go, as I was saying, we need to enable the e-commerce settings. So let's do that right now. To enable your e-commerce settings, you need to go back here to your property, make sure you're in your Universal Analytics property, and then go to e-commerce settings and turn it on. Also, enable e-commerce reporting, turned on, very important. Save that. And that's it. That's our Universal Analytics account setup. And now we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you how to connect your Google Analytics account to your Shopify account. So now we're on our Shopify store, and we need to add our Google Analytics code that we copied from our Google Analytics account in order to report all our data back to Google. So to do that, we just click on Online Store. We go to Preferences. If we scroll down here, we have this section that says Google Analytics. Now paste your Google code here. That is our Universal Analytics code, by the way. Don't post the code here that starts with a G. Post the one that starts with a UA. And once that's done, we must save. And now we have the option to use enhanced e-commerce and save again. So we report as much data as we can back to Google to make sure that we get the best reporting that we possibly can for our Google Ads. Now, that's it for the Google Analytics integration. Our Google Analytics is ready to go. And the next thing that we need to set up is our Merchant Center account. Google Merchant Center is something that you don't see an equivalent of in terms of, for example, Facebook ads. Google Merchant Center is something that communicates with your Shopify and your Google Ads and works as an intermediary to communicate all the details and pictures of your products onto Google Ads. So it's very, very important that we set our Merchant Center correctly, or else we're not going to be able to run Google Ads at all. So to set up your Merchant Center, all you need to do is a quick Google search for Google Merchant Center, click the link that shows up, and then once you're on this page, all you need to do is click Get Started, and you're going to be able to create your Merchant Center account within literally 1 minute. All you'll have to do is enter your business name, your time zone, and the apps that you use. When you get prompted for the apps, select Shopify. Don't select PayPal. You don't need to select PayPal because your purchases are going to be on your website, not on Google. When they ask you where you're going to be selling your products, you can just say that you're going to be selling them on your own website. And then you select your time zone. And then after that, you just click proceed. When you're prompted to set up your integration, click the button that says Go to Shopify, and you will be taken to this page where you can install the Google channel. Now, this is very important, and this is something that you absolutely cannot skip, or you will not be able to run Google Ads at all. Now we're going to go through how to set up the Google channel, which is very, very useful. Before this Google channel existed, you would either have to set up your Merchant Center listings yourself manually, or you would need a third-party app to do it, which was what most people used to do. But now, because we have this Google channel, we can do it in a much, much easier way because it automates most of the process and it just communicates directly with Shopify. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to look at how to set up the Google channel on Shopify. Okay guys, so let's set up our Google sales channel, which is going to communicate with our Merchant Center and get everything set up for us to be able to run our first campaigns with Google Ads. So first thing that we need to do is we need to add this app to our Shopify. Before we get started with this though, I just really want to emphasize that this is really important. Don't skip this or don't rush through this process, because Google will pay a lot of attention to all the information that you enter on the Merchant Center for your products. And if you don't do this carefully, there is a significant chance that you're going to be rejected, or that your product listings are not going to be approved because they're missing some sort of important information. So make sure you follow through and you get all of this done right. Now we need to connect our Google account, right? We've already made our Merchant Center account, but we'll also need our Google Analytics account, which we already have, and also our Google Ads account. That's the last one that we still have to make. By the way, I highly recommend that you use the same email for your store, for your Google Merchant Center, for your Google Analytics, for your Google Ads account. Use the same email for all of them because it makes the setup a lot simpler and you just avoid any complications with different emails. So let's go ahead and create our Google Ads account. Just go to ads.google.com, just like so, and click Start Now. So once you start the process of making your Google Ads account, you're going to be prompted to create a new account. That's what we want, new Google Ads account, and it's going to bring up the setup. Now, one thing, we don't want to use this. We don't want to do any of this. We want to click here where it says switch to expert mode. And this is going to immediately take you to your campaign creation. And now we're not going to create the campaign yet. We just want to have the account. We'll come back later and create the campaign. So for now, we just click create an account without a campaign. So in this screen, you need to put in your company and your country and your billing. I recommend that you set your billing to whichever currency you intend to pay. So you'll be saving a bunch of money on currency conversion fees in case your bank does charge conversion fees, which some banks do. So just click submit. Your account is done. Explore your account. Now the account is done, so we can go back to Shopify and connect Google account. And now it's going to prompt you to connect your Google account. So we'll select the Google account. Again, the same email that we used for all of the accounts, and we'll let it connect. Once our Google channel is set up, we have to go through these requirements here, and then we'll be able to actually start configuring the Merchant Center settings. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this. This is nothing special. It's just you have to remove your store password. You have to add a refund policy in terms of service, and then you have to confirm that you've added contact information to your online store. Once you've done all of this, this message here is going to be clear, and you're going to be able to keep going. So I'm going to do all of this, and I'm going to be back in a minute so that we can get going. All right, now that we've set up everything that Google asked us for, this is the screen that's going to show up. And this is the important part, your product status. So your Merchant Center is going to have to approve your products before you can use them for shopping ads. So either for a smart shopping campaign or for a regular shopping campaign, you're going to need to have your products approved by Google. Now, Google has certain criteria that have to be met in order for your products to be approved. So you want to go and click here on the products that are pending. So once we're in this screen, we need to go here and we need to click Edit Google Fields. Now, this is the important part, guys. This is, if you don't get this right, Google might not approve your product at all. So make sure that you have this on. This is a custom product, because if you tell them that that is not a custom product, they're going to require all of these things like the manufacturer part numbers, and it can get really, really confusing. So here, make sure that you select that this is a custom product. After that, we need to set a Google product category. It doesn't bring up the categories here, so we'll just click this link, and we have a list of categories around here somewhere, I believe. Okay, there it is. So we have to download it. We're going to download the text. Here it is. And now we're going to go Control F, and we're going to go phone accessories. Here we are. Phone accessories. There we go. This is what we want. mobile phone accessories. We want to copy this number, which is 264. You can use one of these as well if we want to be more specific. Mobile phone stands, for example. So we can use this one, copy this number here, 5566, go back to our Shopify page, put in the number 5566. We can give Google a little bit of information about any variants or any characteristics that relate to the product. If we don't have an age, we don't have to select anything. In this case, this is mostly for adults. This is unisex. Condition is new. The color, we're going to have different variants. The material, we don't need to set up any of this. And we don't need to set up any custom labels either. So we just want to save this. Saying changes are saved. Make sure you do this. This is very important. Go back to our Google sales channel. And now we need to allow Google to review the products. And this usually takes 3 to 5 business days to review the products. And if your products get disapproved, if they show up here for some reason, you can click them just like we did here, and you can see which is the problem and the reason why they were not approved, and you can go ahead and fix that, and then they should be approved. Right now you can see here the status is pending. This does usually take a few days, so if it doesn't get approved immediately, don't be nervous. That's normal. It takes a while. It definitely takes longer than Facebook to approve products for Facebook and Instagram shopping, so that is completely normal. Once this is done, we are ready to start building our campaigns. So that's where we're going to go next. Once that's done, we should come back here to our Google Sales channel, click settings, and now we need to link our Google Ads account to our Google Sales channel. So once that's done, we've connected our Google Ads account, and now we need to click this button to enter the billing information so that this can be complete. This is actually extremely helpful compared to what you had to do previously, because this is going to inject the conversions tag into your Shopify store, so you don't have to do any of that manually like you used to. And it also allows you to do this very interesting thing, which is it allows you to use your SEO product description and your SEO product titles in your Google campaigns. Because if you go to your products now, and this is very important, before, if you wanted to have an SEO product title, you would enter a bunch of keywords in your title. And if you wanted to have an SEO description, you would enter a bunch of SEO keywords into your description. And aesthetically, you know, for example, if you're running Facebook ads, it would look pretty terrible for your Facebook customers. But what you can do is you go here and you click edit website SEO, and you have your SEO title and your SEO description. And this is where you can put your SEO title and your SEO description without it changing the main title and the main description on your actual product page. So you can have your product listing optimized for Google without ruining the coherence and just the general appearance of your product page for everyone else that is coming from different sales channels. It just makes the product page look a lot cleaner, which is a very, very nice feature to have. Okay, so now that we've completed all the setup, we are ready to get started with our first campaign. Our first campaign is going to be our search campaign. So I'm going to walk you guys through how you can create your first search campaign. So we want to click new campaign. We want to click create a campaign without a goal guidance. And we want to click search campaign. Search campaigns are the ones that we talked about, where your product and your ad is going to show up like a search result. We want to create our search campaign. We want to name it PixTrack Test, because it's going to be our testing campaign. We want to click continue. Okay, so for our first campaign, we want to test with at least, I would say, $50 a day. Now, this is in euros because my account is in euros, but you can ignore this. I'm going to go through and mention all the numbers that I recommend in US dollars. So any number that I say from this point onwards, always assume that I'm talking about US dollars and not euros, because I know that this is the currency that most of you guys are going to be using. So just for the sake of this course and to make it simpler, we're going to just talk about US dollars. I recommend that you start with at least $50 a day, at least $50 a day. We're going to have a bunch of keywords in here, and it's all about how fast you get your data. But if you want to have data at a reasonable speed, I would advise you to do at least $50 a day. Now, what do you want to focus on? Of course, we want conversions, target CPA. This is a different strategy that we're not going to be using to start. This is a strategy that requires your account to have some sort of data that Google can rely on to optimize for a certain CPA. So we're not going to use this. Click where it says select the bid strategy directly, and we're going to do manual CPC, because we weren't going to select the bid that we want for our keywords. So this is completely different from what we're used to seeing on Facebook, where you target an interest and we tell Facebook to get as many conversions as possible for the lowest cost. Here we want to be in control. So we want to set manual CPC. We want to turn off enhanced CPC. Enhanced CPC is a sort of detailed targeting expansion on Facebook, where you allow Google to bid a little bit higher than your max CPC if it thinks that it can get conversions. So you can see here, helps you get more conversions from manual bidding, works by raising your max CPC for clicks that seem more likely to lead to conversions, and lowering your CPC for bids that seem less likely to convert. This, again, needs a little bit of data to work well. So what I would recommend is you start with manual CPC and then test enhanced CPC later on. Now that this is done here, we can click next and we move on to the next settings. Now this is also important. We want to use, at least for testing, we just want to stick to Google. So we don't want search partners and we don't want display network. Turn off both of these. The countries, you need to enter the countries here that you want to sell your product in. So let's say if you're selling in United States, you would type in United States country and you add it in here. Now this is very important, very, very important. We don't want this thing that says presence or interest, people in, regularly in, or who've shown interest in your target locations. So this means that anyone that's shown interest in the United States will be able to see your ad, which is something that you don't want, because anyone that is in a different country just searching and doing anything that will cause Google to associate them to the United States will still be a candidate to see your ads, and that's not what we want. We want people who are actually in or regularly in the United States. So not this one. This is just not that good. We'll end up wasting money with showing ads to people who are not in your target location. So we want this one. And again, for exclusions, the same thing. If you have any exclusions, people in your excluded locations. Now moving on here, the languages that you speak, English, if you're targeting the United States, this is depending on what market you're targeting, of course, and we click next. Now we're creating the ad groups. So this is going to be our first ad group. We need to find some keywords. So this is where the app that I've mentioned earlier comes in very, very handy. We need to go to Google now, use keywords everywhere, and find some keywords that are good to start testing our product with. Now to get started with finding your keywords, let's start by typing in some search terms that can be related to our product. So let's start it with rotating phone tripod. Okay, so this one doesn't have any searches. Let's see which ones do have searches. So this one has a lot of searches. This is actually a competitor brand. And if we're selling our product cheaper than their product, then maybe the people that are interested in their product will be interested in checking out our version. So this is something that I would really consider testing. Now for this, we're going to go back to our search campaign and we're going to enter the keyword that we want to test. In this case, it's going to be this keyword pivot. Now we want to use all types of matches in this particular ad group, which we will then be narrowing down once we start getting data, and we will stick to the type of match that is giving us the better return on our ad spend. But for starting and for testing, I recommend that you start with all the types of matches. So the first one is broad match. The second one is phrase match. So it's going to be like this. This is phrase match, and this one is going to be exact match. Now let's take a moment here to explain what this actually means. Let's say that someone searched for cheap pivot tripod, right? Your keywords in here. This is not going to show up as an exact match. So if you only had exact match, if you remove these two, your ad would not be displayed for this particular search, because exact match means that your ad is only going to show up if what the person is searching for is exactly matching your keyword or your search term. So if we're using exact match, we're only going to show up for people that type exactly pivot, nothing else. Right now, what is phrase match? Phrase match means that, let's say that our search term is going to be cheap pivot. If someone searches for cheap pivot tripod, we are going to appear because our search term is in the same order as the search term that someone has used. So if the person searches for cheap pivot tripod, we're going to show up because our keywords are cheap pivot in that order. Now imagine that someone searches for pivot tripod cheap, right? This is not going to be included in a phrase match because the order of the words is different. We have set it to be cheap pivo and someone searched for pivo tripod cheap. So even though the words are there, they're in a different order. And that's what phrase match means. Phrase match means that you will show up for anyone that uses the words in the same order, even if there are other words included in the search. So if your search terms are in the same order and they're included in whatever the person is searching, regardless of there being other words or not, your ad is going to be displayed. And finally, broad match just means that your ad is going to show up for anyone that searches for anything, including your search term. So whatever the search is, as long as it includes your keyword, your ad is going to appear. In fact, Google even tells us that when you're using broad match, your ad can show up for anyone using this search term or any related search terms that are similar to the one that you use. So maybe even if it's not the exact same word, if Google thinks it is a related search term, your ad can still appear. So broad match doesn't give you that much control, but we're testing. So we're testing all of them. And as soon as we start getting more data, we will filter it out and we will keep just whatever is bringing us the best results. Sometimes it might be exact match, sometimes it might be broad match. So we'll see. The bid here, I recommend that you start with anything from 50 up to 75. Okay, but be careful because this search term, as we saw, has 90,000 searches a month. So it's huge. You need to be careful. You need to monitor this. I would select a bid on the lower end for this particular search term because it's very, very big. And I would be monitoring it right as your ads go live. Like every hour, you need to see it because if it starts blowing through your budget and it doesn't get anything near becoming profitable, you need to turn it off. This is not like Facebook. You cannot set it and forget it. You have to check it very frequently, especially if you're going into these search terms that have a lot of volume. They can either be extremely profitable or extremely unprofitable, and they're likely to blow through your budget very quickly. So make sure that you keep tabs on that. And if they're spending a lot of money and not getting any conversions, turn them off. Now we've set the bid, we've put in our keywords, and now we have to create our ad. So first you need to put in here your product page. So let's say that our product page would be pixtrack.com/products/pixtrack. So let's say this is our product page. Now you can use any display path here that Google is going to show instead of your actual URL if you think that can improve your results. So if you have a really weird URL, you should use a different display path. You could do something like accessories, phone, tripod, something like that. So it makes your title look more related to the product that people are searching for. What we want to do with this is make sure that it's as closely associated to the search term that people are using as possible, because we want this to connect with our audience as well as possible. For the headlines, the first thing that you should do is always use your search term. So your first headline, in my opinion, should always be your search term, because that's what people are searching. That's what got the ad to trigger. So if you want them to pay attention, give them exactly what they were searching for. And then the next one could be a variation of your search term with a benefit. Now, because Pivo is actually a brand and we're not Pivo, we don't want to confuse people. We want to make sure that people understand that what we're selling is a cheaper version of the same product. Pivo, like tripod, something like that. In general, what you want to do is you want to use the exact search term that you're using to show up as your first headline. But in this case, since your search term is actually a brand, you cannot say that you are them because you're not, obviously. So you just want to make it very clear that you are a cheaper version of what this brand offers. Now for the descriptions, what we want to do is we want to offer a few benefits like face tracking technology for a fraction of the price. Get yours now. Like this. But this is just an example. You want to write a quick benefit and a call to action here related to whatever it is that makes people search for this particular search term. So if they want a cheaper version of Pivo, you would do this: face tracking technology for a fraction of the price, get yours now. Now, once this is done, we can click next and we can add site link extensions. Site link extensions generally are helpful to improve your CTR, but they're not absolutely necessary. What we want to do though is we want to create a few more ad groups. This is coming up as an error here because it has too few elements in the headlines and in the descriptions. You can add a few more, but for now we're going to skip it because we just want to show you the structure of the campaign. You would go and create another ad group and you would follow the same process. So for example, iPhone tripod mount. This one has 6,600 monthly searches, which is a pretty healthy amount as well. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to set the bid here, say 50, and we're going to use the same keyword. We're going to copy this keyword here, and we're going to bring it here. Broad match, phrase match, exact match. There we go. And now here we would do the same thing with the ad. We put in our URL, and then for headlines, this is not a brand, so it's perfect. We can just put in the exact search term as our first headline. That's what I would recommend that you do. And for the second headline, we would do iPhone tripod mount on sale, for example, or best iPhone tripod mount, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. So you just add the keyword, the same search term, with a few benefits. Nothing too crazy. Same thing that we did before for the description, and then we just click next, and we start running these. Now that we have our campaign set up right here, we want to make sure that we do a few things. The first thing that we want to do is we want to add negative keywords. So we click search keywords and we click add negative keywords and we click here. Negative keywords would be like your exclusions on Facebook. So we want to add to the entire campaign a list of negative keywords. And this is where you would add dropshipping, Amazon, AliExpress, Alibaba, all of these keywords that you don't want to be associated with your search terms, because if someone is looking for AliExpress or Alibaba, they're not going to buy from you. Same for Amazon, same for something like eBay. So you want to go ahead, add these negative keywords and click save. So it applies automatically to all your campaigns, and your ads are not going to be displayed to anyone that is using these keywords in their search terms. So this is very important. It's going to save you a lot of money. Make sure that you do this before your campaign starts distributing the ads. Now, the next thing, as I've previously mentioned, is we want to monitor our campaigns. We want to come here very regularly. We want to see how much this has spent, how much money each one of our campaigns is spending, and we want to turn off anything. We want to pause anything that spends more than your profit margin without getting a single conversion, because that means that it's unlikely that the search term is going to be very profitable. So just like we would do with Facebook, if something spends too much money and it doesn't get any conversions, we switch it off. Another thing that we want to monitor is the search terms. We want to have a look at the search terms. So any search terms that your ads are showing up for are going to be showing up here. You will find that some of these search terms will become as profitable or even more profitable than your keywords that you've included in your campaign. If that happens, you want to make sure that you click it and you add it as a search term for your campaign. So those search terms will be added as keywords in your campaign. It's the same thing if you see that you have a bunch of search terms that your ad is showing up for and they're not bringing you any money. So if that happens, make sure to exclude those search terms so that you won't be ranking for them and you won't be wasting money on search terms that are not giving you any revenue. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you set up a basic search campaign strategy to start running Google Ads for your Shopify store. Now, as I said, especially if you're using search terms with a lot of volume, make sure that you do not set this and leave it. You need to be monitoring it actively, because if you have a search term with a lot of volume like we had, what can happen is that you will start spending a lot on that particular search term, and within 1 hour your budget is going to be gone, or maybe less even if it's crazy volume. So make sure to keep tabs on that as soon as your ads start running, so you can have an idea of what's spending faster, and if it's not making you money, turn it off. Now, the next step that I want to go over with you guys is creating a shopping campaign. So to create a shopping campaign, what we would do is we would go to all campaigns again, we would go to overview, and we would create a new campaign. Again, without a goals guidance and shopping. Now it's going to find our merchant center, the country where the products are sold. We're going to put in our country. So we're going to put in United States, and we want to do standard shopping. Smart shopping is pretty good. If you don't want to be monitoring everything, you can also try smart shopping. It brings you decent results. But what we're here to teach you today is how to manage shopping campaigns. So we're going to go for a standard shopping campaign, and we're going to click next. Okay, so setting up our shopping campaign, we want to go ahead with manual CPC, turn off enhanced CPC for the same reason that we've talked about before. Your budget, I would recommend, again, 50 a day. At least you can go 100 if you want, depends on the budget that you want to allocate towards your Google Ads. Placements, we want to exclude partners and we want to exclude YouTube, Gmail, and Discover. Our location should be, again, the countries that we ship to. In this case, if we're shipping only to the United States, we would put in United States. Again, this sneaky option, make sure that you don't miss this. We don't want this one. We don't want people in regularly in or who've shown interest in your targeted locations. That is not good at all. We want to go with this one, people in or regularly in your targeted location. So not to people who have shown interest, only people who are actually there or have regularly been to our destination countries. So starting date, there it is. Ending date, we do not need to touch this because we want our ads to run continuously. Ad group, not too important into shopping campaigns. We're going to have one ad group with our products in there. And bid, I would do anything between $75 and $1. I like to bid higher in shopping campaigns because if you think about it, that is the highest quality traffic that you probably are going to have. Someone that is coming from a shopping campaign is someone that has seen your ad with a picture of your product, the price of your product, and has decided to click, right? So there is a very high chance that this traffic is going to convert, at least higher chance than you get on average from people that are coming from search campaigns or even Facebook ads, because these people have seen your product picture, they've seen the price, they searched for it, so they weren't shown an ad out of the blue just because they're interested in something that you targeted. No, they've actively searched for the product, they've seen the product picture, they've seen the price, and then they clicked. So I like to bid higher here than on searching campaigns. Then we're going to create campaign, and there we go. Our campaign is created. Now our shopping campaign is right here, ready to go. The first thing that we want to do is we want to click this plus sign. We want to sort by item ID, and my product was not approved yet in the merchant center, so that's why nothing's showing up here. But if your product is approved, you're going to have an item ID for every single variant that you have in your Shopify store. And what you want to do is you want to click this box, select all of them, and click save without editing bids. This will bring you back to your campaign, but now you'll be able to see independently one line for each particular variant. This will allow you to see how much you're spending and how much you're getting in return for each particular variant, because generally not all variants have equal performance, and this way you can choose to exclude any variants that are underperforming and that just end up spending a lot of money and not getting any sales. So this is very, very important. From this point on, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be optimizing your shopping campaign. Now, we've mentioned for search campaigns how fast you start getting the data and how you need to be very hands-on monitoring it, making sure that you don't overspend. With shopping campaigns, it's the opposite. You need to be very patient. If your shopping campaign doesn't spend anything on day 1, day 2, day 3 even, don't stress it. That's normal. Shopping campaigns take a little bit of time to pick up. So you just need to let it optimize and let Google start distributing your ads and start gathering some data, and then you can make some decisions. But definitely make sure that you have enough data before you start making any decisions. What I would do is I would count at least 1 week after your ads start spending, and only then I would come back and start optimizing things. So of course, what you need to optimize is your bid. You need to optimize your bid. If you're getting very expensive costs per conversion on a particular variant, you want to decrease your bid. And if you're getting very, very cheap costs per conversion on a particular variant, you can increase your bid to try and get a little bit more volume while still being profitable. You also want to do the search terms like we talked about in the search campaigns. If you're ranking for search terms that are highly profitable, you can increase the bid on those, and you want to make sure that you exclude any search terms that are not profitable by including them in the negative keyword list. So you won't be showing your ads for those particular search terms. Make sure though that you mess with your shopping campaigns maximum once a week, I would recommend. Don't mess with your shopping campaigns all the time. They take longer to optimize, and you need to let them gather data and optimize before you start switching things up. So make sure that you give it at least 7 days after it starts spending in order to have a relevant amount of data when you decide to start optimizing. And that's it for how to set up shopping campaigns and search campaigns using Google Ads for your Shopify store.
Hello everyone, my name is Vedank, and today I'm going to teach you how to run YouTube ads successfully for your e-commerce store. So today we are going to talk about YouTube ads, and actually I divided this course into 2 parts. So the first one will be teaching and the second one will be practical. So I'm going to teach you about the different type of ad format you can have while running YouTube ads. I'll also teach you about the different targeting options, the campaign structure, and the bidding strategies. Also, I'll be showing you the best performing creative example so you can use them for your own store. Practical part, I'm going to actually show you how to set up your account, how to set up your conversion, how to set up a campaign. I will also be showing you our best YouTube ad strategy. I will also teach you how to test your ads and how to scale and optimize your ads. So the first format we're going to cover today is called discovery ads. And actually, discovery ads are the most common ads you will see on YouTube. As you can see here, there is actually a badge saying that it's an ad, and the discovery ads actually will promote a video at the top of the search results. You get charged whenever someone will click on the ad, so whenever someone will click on the video. And the goal here is really to actually get the interest of people. So the main goal is branding. Those discovery ads are very, very good to actually just get your product in front of your audience, get their attention, engage them with their video, and then you'll be able to retarget them. I will show you this later, okay? So the goal here is branding. There is no call to action possible. You cannot put a button on this type of ad format. You cannot link the ad format to a website, so it's only for branding. And the main metric we're going to consider here is called cost per view. So whenever someone views your video, there is a cost, and this is how you're going to analyze your ads, because you're going to take a look at the cost per view. As you can see, this is the main common format in YouTube ads, and you can recognize this because there is a badge here. They're being displayed at the top of the search results whenever you are looking for a video. The good thing with discovery ads is that you can actually just expand your placement. So instead of just showing your ads in YouTube, you can also expand this to the whole Google network. So you can actually, of course, display the text variations on YouTube. So instead of showing a video, you can also show a portion of text to get the attention of people. You can also display this in the Google Ad Display Network, and also you can choose to actually place your ad in Gmail and all the other apps. So there is many variation of the discovery ads, and these are different variations of what you can see while browsing the internet. So maybe you already saw some text portion like this, and those are actually a minimized version of discovery ads, only displaying the text, but it's sufficient enough to just grab the attention of people. Another variation possible is actually displaying the thumbnail. So this is called a display discovery ad, and your ad is actually being displayed like this in front of your audience. And as you know, Gmail is also part of Google, so you might have seen something like this, actually an ad at the top of your emails. This is also a discovery placement. So discovery are really good ads because those are very made to actually help you to construct your branding and your awareness. So there is another key format we're going to cover today, and this one is called bumper ads. So a bumper ad is actually a very short video. It's only 6 seconds long, and actually the bumper ad is not skippable. So whenever you face a bumper ad, you just have to watch it. Okay, you cannot do anything except watch it, and you have a call to action at the bottom. So bumper ads are really, really good for retargeting. Those are also really, really good to make sure people remind your brand, and those are the ones that you will use only in retargeting. Those are very, very cheap, and this is very nice because you can actually have a lot of people being reached with these ads. So here is an example of a bumper ad, and as you can see, it's only 4 seconds long because there is a maximum of 6 seconds. So the goal here is actually just to remind people that you exist, to actually retarget people, and to leverage your awareness. So those ads are called bumper ads, really short ads, and those are really good to actually get people attention again. Another format we're going to cover today, and actually this is the most common one when it comes to creating some conversion campaign, especially in e-com, is called the skippable in-stream ad format. So this is actually an intuitive pattern format, which means that the video will appear before, during, or after a video you are watching. You cannot do nothing except watch the video during the first 5 seconds. And after the 5 seconds, you will have the option to actually skip the ad because you will have a button appearing here, or you will also be able to click on the call to action that will lead you to the website. The good thing with these ads is that you actually do not get charged if someone doesn't watch the video for more than 30 seconds or if someone does not click on the ad, which means that you're getting free impressions. So basically, if I just see the ad and I just hit on skip, I will not cost you any money. On these ads, you have to put a call to action, and the goal is conversion. So your metric is what we call the cost per conversion. So skippable in-stream ads. Another variation of the skippable in-stream ad is a non-skippable in-stream ad, which means that you cannot skip the video. These videos last maximum 15 seconds, so they're good in retargeting, they're good for branding and for conversion. The good thing here is that you can also link them to website with a call to action button, and the metric here will be the cost per view. So this is what it looks like. So it's a non-skippable in-stream ad. And as you can see, you don't have any skip button, you just have to watch it, and that's it. So now let's cover the different types of targeting options in YouTube ads. And you will see that YouTube ads is very similar to Facebook ads in some point. Actually, you can also, as in any platform, do some location targeting. So you can target any country you would like to target. You can include countries, you can exclude countries. You can do the same thing as in Facebook ads. On top of that, there is also a language filter. So if you're targeting countries where they speak more than one language and you only want to target English or French, for instance, you can select these to make sure you are showing ad to people that speak your language and understand your advertising. So target by demographics, so you can actually include or exclude some genders. You can include or exclude some age range. You can also choose the parental status. And in the US, you can actually target by household income. So this is very nice. So the good thing about YouTube ads is that YouTube is part of Google, and whenever someone types a query in the search engine, the data is reflected in YouTube, which means that my targeting in YouTube ads is very, very accurate. For instance, if you are searching for a restaurant and I target people interested in a restaurant on YouTube, my targeting will be very accurate. So in YouTube ads, you can target in-market segments, and you can actually compare this targeting option to interest targeting in Facebook. I will show you this when I'll be setting up my campaign. You can also target people based on live events. So for instance, if someone is moving to another place, or if someone is just changing job, or someone is trying to lose weight, you can actually identify those people based on the keyword they are writing in Google. You can also go for detailed demographics. So detailed demographic is actually targeting people based on their job, on their position, based on also if they have kids or not, if they're retired, etc., etc. I will cover all these while I'll be setting up my campaign. And you can also create some affinity segments. So this is for advanced people, but based on the keyword you will actually pick, you will be able to create some audiences, which is quite interesting. So you also have many retargeting options when it comes to YouTube ads. You can retarget people based on website visits. So if they visit a specific page, like the cart page, like the product page, the home page, or any page you would like, you can include them in an audience for maximum 540 days. This is the retention frame you have in Google Ads. You can also retarget people based on the video they are watching on your YouTube channel. So for instance, if someone is watching one of your video related to your product, you can include these people in a specific audience, which is quite good. Also import some customer lists depending on your account in your country. This actually lets you target some specific people, and of course you can also do some lookalikes, so some clone audiences, as you will do in Facebook. Also create what we call custom segments, and custom segments are actually audiences based on the keyword you will choose. So for instance, if you just create a cloud with a lot of keywords related to weight loss, if you are promoting a weight loss product, then you can actually target people that have been typing this keyword and searching for this query in Google during the past 30 days, which is very, very powerful. So as you can see, there is many targeting options here, and we'll explore all those together while we'll be setting up our campaign. As in Facebook, you also have the optimized targeting option, which means that you can just expand your audience. You can turn this on or off. Most of the time, I tend to turn it on because my campaign work best with this option. So this will actually just expand your audience. Machine learning will actually just expand your audience to show your ad to multiple people that are being accurate. Let's do a quick recap of all the options you have in YouTube ads. So as you can see, YouTube ads is very similar to Facebook, but you can also target some specific YouTube channel video, which is very, very accurate. You can target people by using some specific keyword, which means that whenever they will type this keyword in Google or in YouTube, your ad will be displayed. You can also create some audiences based on the search intent. So for instance, if someone is actively searching about weight loss and you are promoting a weight loss product, you can show them your ad, and you can also use audience targeting. So you have the in-market audiences, which are the most popular one and comparable to the audiences in Facebook. You have the live event audiences, which are actually the one that you will use if you want to target people in a certain situation right now. So I have the affinity audiences that you want to use if you want to target someone that's being passionate about something, that's doing, you know, some research frequently about something. And of course, you can also have remarketing audiences, as you will have in Facebook. Now let's talk about the campaign structure you can have in YouTube ads. So YouTube ads are very, very similar to CBO. It's a very basic structure, which means that you have one campaign, and in this campaign you can have different ad groups. So each ad group can actually have one or multiple targeting options, okay? And each ad group can have multiple ads. So as you can see, you can have the same structure as in Facebook. The only thing here is that you do not have the choice between ABO and CBO. So when you set up your budget here in YouTube ads, the budget is actually set at the campaign level, which means that if you have $50 per day, YouTube will actually take your budget and do the best he can to deliver you some results. This means that you do not have any control on how your budget will be invested across ad group 1, ad group 2, ad group 3. So let's assume I want to test. It might be difficult to test which audience is performing better because I do not have any option to control my budget as I would have in Facebook. If you want to do testing, for instance, if you want to test some audiences, what you will have to do is you will have to set up two campaigns, two separate campaigns. In that way, you can actually define your budget for each campaign. So let's take my example here about my weight loss product. If I have $50 budget, what I will do is that I will actually create two campaigns at $25 each. And in the first campaign, I will try one audience, let's say one custom intent audience, which will be targeting people about weight loss. So this will be the one. I will have one campaign, one audience, and I will just use my best performing ad here. In the other one, I will actually put the same budget because we want to give each campaign, each audience an equal chance to perform. And I'll be targeting people watching videos about weight loss in this one. Okay, and I will of course use the same ad. So the only thing that's changing between those two is the audiences you are targeting, and in that way you can split your budget, put 25 here, 25 here, and actually just understand which one is performing better between those two. The same way, if you want to test creative with YouTube ads, what you might have to do here is, once again, you want to create two campaigns. The first one will be the campaign where you'll be testing your ad number 1. The second one will be the campaign where you'll be testing your ad number 2. And you actually want to expose two different ads to your best performing audience, to your best performing ad group. So let's assume here I'm targeting, once again, people interested in weight loss. What I will do is I will keep the same budget across the two campaigns. I will keep the same targeting options, so let's say the same interest, and the only thing I will change here will be my ad. And based on the performance, I will keep the best performing one. So this is basically how you can test. You have to create two different campaigns to control the budget you're investing on each campaign. Okay, so now let's talk about the different bidding strategies you will have while you'll be running your YouTube ads. So the first one you will have is called automatic bidding, so maximize conversions. In this option, Google will deliver as many conversions as possible based on your budget. This option is actually good to warm up your account, so when you don't have any data, when it's a fresh new account, you will have to run those. So the machine learning will be able to figure out which budget, what kind of budget is working the best for you. The good thing in this campaign is that the budget will be spent whatever happens. So Google will actually figure out what kind of audience it needs to serve to actually make the most out of your budget. So the second option we have is called the target cost per action, also called TCPA. With this option, you actually have to enter a bidding. So you have to tell Google how much you can afford for a conversion. Of course, if your bidding is too low, your budget will not be spent. And if your bidding is too high, then you might have some conversions, but they will be very, very expensive. So the goal here is to find out what's the ideal TCPA. And I will teach you how to do this when I'll be setting up the campaign with you guys. So what you have to know here is that you will be using maximize conversion when you'll be creating your first campaigns. And then once you start having some data and some conversions, you want to go for TCPA campaigns, so target cost per action campaigns in your bidding strategy. Okay, so now let's talk about the best creative structure for your YouTube ads. So let's start with the bumper ad. As you know, a bumper is only 6 seconds long. So the goal here is actually to leverage your brand awareness. There is no possibility, no option to insert a call to action button. So you want to be straight to the point. You want to use those in retargeting. And of course, what you want to do is that you want to cap your frequency. So you have to know that Google and YouTube actually give you some option to make sure you're not overwhelming your audience. You're not spamming your audience with the same ad over and over again, so you can cap the number of views, you can cap the number of impressions per day, and this is very useful, so you will not be harassing people. And I will teach you this while I'll be setting up my campaign. Just to give you a good example about what a good bumper ad is, let's have a look at this one. So this one is only 3 seconds long, but as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. So as you can see, they say just 3 seconds long as this ad. Boom, right? It's very fast, but it's very good for branding. Okay, very, very good for branding. Very good to actually remind people that you exist and to actually show them your product. Another ad is one ad from Airbnb, only 6 seconds long, but just to give you an idea of how you need to create your bumper ads. Pretty straightforward, only good for branding, really good and really cheap to actually get your ad in front of people and remind your audience about your product. Basically, with this video on the right, with my budget, I was able to get 20,000 people watching my video on a daily basis. So 20,000 people watching my video and interacting with my brand. So as you know, I was able to retarget those people with my conversion ad after. And here I was able to get more than 40,000 people with the same budget. So if you do the math, this is way better to actually get some exposure, but also to get some audiences engaged with your product. So now let's talk about the non-skippable in-stream ads. As you know, a non-skippable in-stream ad is only 15 seconds long, and the goal here is to get some website clicks, some conversions. So you really want to make sure your message is short and smart. You want to go straight to the point, and you want to use those in retargeting. Of course, as with the bumper ads, you do not want to spam people, so you want to cap your frequency, you want to cap your exposure, and I will teach you how in a moment. Now let's go to the most interesting one, the skippable in-stream ad, the one you want to use for your conversion campaign. So here the goal is to get some sales, and as you know, those ads, you can skip them after 5 seconds. So your goal will be to actually grab people's attention within the 5 first seconds, so they watch your ad. So in the structure, you always want to start with a scroll stopper, and then in the middle of your ad, you want to present the solution, you want to connect with your audience, and then you want to close with a call to action. So to get started, you just want to go on ads.google.com, and here on the top right corner, you have the Start Now button, and you will have to create an account. once your account will be created, you will have this simplified interface and you want to switch to expert mode. Now it's time to actually give a name to your campaign, and you want to stay organized. So you just want to mention that it's a branding campaign, and you also want to make sure that you put your product name into it. So for now, let's keep it simple. Let's call this campaign branding dash product name, and then we'll put the countries we'll target. As you can see here in the bid strategy for a discovery campaign, you have to select a maximum cost per view. Let's go to the budget here. We'll actually set up a daily budget, which should be 100 per day. And as in Facebook, you can select a start date and an end date. You don't want to touch this. You have the same option in Facebook, and basically you can select your placements. So I actually unselect video partner on display networks. You just want to make sure your results are being displayed in YouTube only and not in the Google display network, because most of the time this placement is not qualified. So let's stick to YouTube for now. Then here you just want to target your countries, and this is the option you want to use if you want to target some specific countries. If you want to add some countries in bulk, just click here in advanced search. You want to click in add location in bulk here, and you can just insert your countries. Hit search and you want to target your countries, click on save. Now, if you want to target a specific language, for instance, if you want to target English speaking people, you can just put it here. And then now it's time to actually choose the inventory type. In my case, I do not choose this option. I just let it as it is. So if you have some other videos that might be related to the one you are promoting, you can select them here. This is also a good option because it will help you to take more space on your customer screen. So let's say you have 5 videos about weight loss. What you can do is you can just promote them here as being suggested videos. So if you click on additional settings, you have different options showing up. The first one is setting up the conversions, and I will teach you this in a moment. You can also choose some devices. So if you want to actually display your ad on all possible devices, or if you only want to target some specific devices, it's also possible. So you can also choose some frequency capping, and this is important for bumper ad and in-stream ads. For discovery, it doesn't matter that much, so we'll leave this for later. You can choose a schedule, and you can also do some integrations if you have a CRM and you just want to track your conversions better. Now it's time to set up the ad set, which is called the ad group here in YouTube ads. So at the ad group level, you will set up your targeting options. So remember, all the options that we had here are only options related to the campaign structure in general. What I will do here is I will actually choose my targeting options, and based on my targeting options, I will give my ad group a name. So now let's have a look at the different targeting options we have. As you know, you can target people based on who they are. So if you want to choose some specific gender, a specific age range, or if you want to choose people based on their parental status, you can do it here. In this scenario, what I will do is I will go for female only, age from 25 to 44, and actually I will also pick the unknown, because with iOS 14 issues, it's always better to keep this on, so you will make sure that you are getting a lot of people in your audiences. Then you can actually target people also based on the audience you have, on detailed demographics, affinities, in-market and live events. So now let's have a look at those options, targeting options that are suggested by Google. And let's start with detailed demographics. It's very similar as demographic options in Facebook ads. You can target people based on their parental status, on their marital status, on the education, on the home ownership status, and employment. To be honest, I don't really use these targeting options. So let's have a look at the second one, which is the affinity option. So affinity option lets you target people based on their interest and habits they have. So this is very important, and this is very accurate. So let's say I'm doing some research about weight loss for more than 3 months now. So Google will actually consider this as being a habit, and then if I select people interested in weight loss here, then actually I'll be part of this audience. And you have many options you can play around with here. So you can target people based on the lifestyle. This is the most common thing I do here. especially when it comes to e-com. I like to target people interested into fashion, or I like to target people that are actually real shoppers. This is also a good audience you want to use. Then you have some other options here, and this is very, very accurate in market and live events. So you can target people based on what they're actually researching or planning. So based on what they're doing right now, and remember, the data here is coming from the Google search engine, which means that if you want to target people that are actually, for instance, let's say starting a business, you can do it. If you want to target people that are actually facing a job change, you can do it also. If you are targeting people that just have actually adopted a new pet, then you can also do it. So this is a very, very good targeting option that I use, and actually this is the most accurate one I have. You also have another option, which is the in-market segment here. So those are people actually interested in those topics, and you have a lot of topics you can explore here. It's always good to have a look at those while picking your targeting options. You can also target people based on how they have interacted with your business. And to do this, you will first have to set up your YouTube channel and your Google Analytics and also your Google Ads tracking. So you will have some data here that you will be able to use while running your campaigns on YouTube. You can also create some combined segments. So this is more complex, but this will actually let you define an ideal audience by combining some existing segments and by actually giving some keywords you want to target to YouTube. So this is very, very important, and actually it's an advanced strategy that I'm not going to cover here because I just want to make sure that you guys have the basics to actually run your ad successfully. And you can also create some custom audience segments. So you can create some custom audience segments with people with specific interest, purchase intention, Google search term, and more. So literally here you can combine, for instance, an audience that you will be creating based on keywords that are being typed by people, and also based on what people are searching right now. So this is very accurate because you can also have some decent option here to target people based on their interest, behavior, but also matching and mixing these with keywords. Okay, so now let's have a look at this first targeting option, keywords. So if you want to get some keywords, the best way to do it is actually to go on YouTube and to type a keyword relative to your product. So here, if I want to target people interested in weight loss, I will just type in weight loss, and as you will see here, I have many suggestions of keywords from YouTube. If you just click here on the small text, you will be able to literally copy these and you'll be able to paste them in your YouTube ad panel creation here, just here. And this is actually a way I use to just find some best keywords. I will go for meal plan also, so meal plan, and see I have meal plan for weight loss, meal planning. So I have a lot of things here that I will be able to use. So I just want to make sure it stays accurate. So I do not want to target people interested in weight gain, but only in weight loss. So another option you can use is topics, and here you can just scroll through the topics, or you can type a keyword, a phrase, or a website link. What I will do here is I can actually just go under the health category, and I'll be able to find many categories related to my products. For instance, here I have special and restricted diets. This is something I will be able to use. Another option you can use is actually target people based on the content they're watching. So you can target people based on the YouTube videos they're watching. So this is very powerful. So for instance, if I just want to target people watching a video about weight loss, let's say this one for instance, what I would be able to do is I'll be able to insert this specific video here in my targeting options, and then I'll be able to select it. So my best tip here is to actually go for the most recent one with also the most views. So you want to sort by view count, and you want to also sort by upload date. So let's go for instance for this month, and you want to sort them by view count. And here you will have some good videos you can use and you can target. So of course you will have to put them here one by one. And finally here you have to choose your bidding option, and you want to just insert a maximum cost per view. As you are in the discovery campaign, you just want to put 5 cents. It's more than enough. So my main tip here is only keep one interest option per ad set. Do not mix them together. For instance, if you want to go for keyword in an ad group, just go for keyword. Don't mix keyword plus topics, or keyword plus placements. If you want to go for topics, just go for topics. If you want to go for placement, just go for placement. So only keep one targeting option per ad group. Of course, you can choose different demographics here, but do not pick anything else except then one targeting option extra. So for instance, demographic plus any audience segment is fine, demographic plus any keyword is fine, demographic plus any topic is fine, and demographic plus any placement is fine. But having, for instance, an audience, so demographic plus audience segment plus keyword is not fine, because you are restricting the machine learning of the algorithm and it will mess up your data. So don't do this. Now it's time to create your ad, and to do so you just have to create a YouTube channel, and then you want to upload your video. Your video does not need to be listed. You can put it as unlisted, it's fine. You just need to have the YouTube video link and you want to paste it here. To paste it, as you can see, there is different options here, and in this scenario, as we're creating a discovery ad, you just want to take in-feed video ad. Now it's time to choose a thumbnail, and I really suggest you to upload a thumbnail on your YouTube video, so you will see it here in the options. So I'll be selecting this one. Then you have some text options here. It's what we call the short copy in YouTube ads. So you want to have one headline, 2 descriptions, and the ad name is something for yourself. It's just a naming convention that you will use in your account. So here's a tip about your headlines. You can use capital letters for the beginning of each word. Do not put a word in full capital, because Google will reject it, and also Google does not accept any punctuation here. So commas, dots, etc., they are not accepted. So to avoid getting your ad blocked, just keep it plain and empty without any punctuation. So my best tip here for the headline is actually to make sure that people can understand that there is an offer. Also, you want to make sure that they understand what your product is about, and you want to actually make sure that they understand the main benefit while having a look at the sentence here. Also, if you have any kind of social proof, any strong guarantee, just put it here so it's clear and visible enough. On the description, as you can see, you only have very limited characters here. So you have 35 characters, and the descriptions, those can be used to actually leverage your social proof. So as you guys know here, we are working on a discovery ad. So what I will do is first, I will just put my YouTube video link here, and now I have 2 options. I will go for in-feed video ad. This is the one we want to use for discovery. And then you want to select the thumbnail. If you have uploaded a thumbnail on your video, then fair enough, you will find it here. If not, then you just want to go back to your video and you want to select a good thumbnail. Now it's time to create your ad. So what you will have to do is you will have to actually create a YouTube channel, and you just want to put your logo, a banner, and actually you want to upload a video. So your video does not necessarily need to be listed. You can put it as hidden or unlisted, it's fine. The only thing you need is you just want to have your link, your video link, so you can paste it here and the video will appear. Now you have 2 options. Skippable in-stream, we'll take this for later. Now we're working on a discovery ad. So remember, the goal of a discovery ad is actually to get people watching your ad and being engage with your video. So you just want to go for in-feed video ad here. Then you can select the thumbnail, select any good looking thumbnail here. And you also already have a preview here about how it will look like. You need to have a really good title to actually grab people's attention. Here my headline will be the #1 weight loss solution. In that way, in the headline in mobile version, we'll see what this is about. And also in desktop, it will look really nice. So we have everything here, and this is how it will be displayed. You can have a look at all the previews here by clicking just here. And now it's time to publish the ad. So just give it a name. I would call this one ad one, and then click on create campaign. So now it's time to set up your billing. So here is the option where you can finally just set up your billing. So your country, time zone, if you have a discount code, you just want to put it here. Here you can just put all your business details, so your taxes information, your name and address, and you can also set up a credit card to make your payments. Once you're done, you just want to click here and you just want to submit. Okay, so now we just finished set up our first discovery campaign, and now we just want to actually take care of your conversion setup, YouTube channel setup, and your Google Analytics setup within your Google Ads account. And then we'll be running our second campaign, which will be the conversion campaign. So for now, let's start with linking our YouTube channel. So to do so, you just have to click here, and then you just want to go in linked accounts. Here under YouTube, you can click on details. Just want to click on add channel and paste your YouTube channel link here, and click on I own this channel, go to YouTube, and then you just want to grant access. Brand name, and you click on link, and you're done. So if you have a Google Analytics account, you can link it from here. You just want to click on manage and link, and here you can just pick your account and link it. In that way, all the conversions coming from Google Ad will be injected into Google Analytics, and it will let you read your data. So this is very good if you are running multi-channel ads, if you're running ads on TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, and Google at the same time. You just want to get everything in a place to make sure that the data is accurate and to actually have a look at what you're doing. So the next thing to do is you want to set up your conversions, and to do this, you just want to click here and you want to go on conversions, and you want to click on new conversion action, and you want to actually set up some conversions on your website. In that way, you will be able to understand which ad group, which keyword, which video is getting you some sales, some conversions, and this is very important if you want to be able to scale. So let's start with the first conversion we want to create. Select a goal here. Of course, our goal is purchase, and you just want to call it purchase. What you want to do here is you want to use different values for each conversion. So for now, you can just leave one here because I will show you how to set up dynamic conversions. What you want to do is you want to leave this as it is, so everything stands out. Now click on create and continue. So now it's time to install the conversion, and to do so, just follow those steps closely. So just click here on install the tag yourself, and what you want to do is you want to copy this portion of text here. So just hit copy. And you actually want to go in your Shopify backend, you want to go in online store, then you just want to go here under action, and you want to go in edit code or edit theme. Basically, you just want to search for the file called theme.liquid, and just here below the head section, you want to hit space and you want to paste the code that you got from here, and then you just want to save it. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to take this portion of code here and you want to put it in your checkout settings. So let's go back in the Shopify backend. Let's go in settings. Now you want to go under checkout, and here if you scroll down, you have the order status page where you can actually just paste your conversion code just right here. So let's paste it. Then there is another thing you can do is just add a condition saying that you only want to count one conversion per session. So basically this prevents you from having people counting double in your conversion, because sometimes the page will refresh, and what will happen is that the code will be loaded twice. You just want to make sure that you only have one conversion per session. So let's take this portion of code here, and we'll prepare everything in the description for you. So you just want to add a condition here, and you also want to add a condition at the end, and then you'll be done. So there is one last edit you want to do in the code, is you just want to select your value and you want to make it dynamic, because for now we have set one as value, which means that whatever the cart value will be, it will only count €1 in the conversion value. So you want to make sure it's dynamic, so the conversion value reflected in Google Ads will really be the one depending on the cart value. So to do so, I just paste a portion of code in the description. You just have to paste it here, and you will be done. Just hit on save, and that's it. Your conversion is all set. Now here, let's go back to Google Ads. The last thing you can do is just click on next to finalize your conversion setup, and then you click on done, and that's it. Of course, if you want to add more conversion events, you can just click here on new conversion action, and you can just, for instance, create some other conversions as add to cart and initiate checkout. Okay, so now let's continue with the second campaign setup. We are going to set up our conversion campaign. So remember, the goal of this campaign is to get some sales, and I'm about to show you how to set up this properly. So we're going to set up two conversion campaign. The first one will be on cold audiences, which means that we're going to target people based on some keywords, on some interest, and also on some placement. And the second one will be on hot audiences, meaning that we're only going to show this conversion ad to people that are aware of our brand. So let's start by creating a new campaign. Just click here on campaign, just click on new campaign, and this time you want to optimize for sales. You just want to click here on continue, and you will be using video ads here. So just click on video. You want to give your campaign a name. As always, you want to stay organized. So this one, I will call it sales conversions, and I will work in TCPA. So remember, in the bidding strategies, you have two options. The first one is maximize conversion. So this is the one you want to use when you first set up your campaign. And you also have target cost per action, TCPA, which is the one I'm going to use here, as I know that my cost per conversion on this account is between 114 and 163. I will put any number between all those, and I'll be more than happy to get some conversions within this range. So of course, to have this box displayed, you need to get some data first. So if you're just starting, you just want to click on maximize conversions because you don't have any idea about what your cost conversion will be. Here I'm going to set up my budget. I'm going with 50 per day in this situation, and then you want to target your countries. So once again, you can just click here on advanced search. You just want to add location in bulk, and I want to go for United States, Canada, and Australia. Now, if you want to add a language filter, you can do it. I'm going to add the English language filter here. For the inventory, you don't want to touch anything. If you have a website with a blog, a contact page, or some other product, you just want to click here to add some extensions. So extensions are really good because those will help you to take more space on the screen, and those are just links that will be displayed under your ads. So you just want to add a headline here, a description, and the link. This will actually help you to take some more space on your customer screen. Now let's go to the ad group creation, and what I want to do here is I want to create a first ad group, and this one I'm going with in-market audiences because I'm going for cold audiences. So I will just call it in-market, and then here in my demographics I can just pick anything I want. Let's say I just want to go for female between 25 to 44, and let's go for in-market audiences here. I just want to click on audience segments. So as I want to go for in-market audiences, I will just click here on browse, and if I want to target people interested in a weight loss product, I might go for people interested in food, people for instance eating fast food, or I might also go for people interested in sport and fitness. And this is what I'm going to target. Actually, I'm going to target people interested in sport and fitness, and also people interested in fast food, and let's say pizza. Okay, of course you don't want to stack them together, because as in Facebook, if you are stacking everything together, how are you going to notice what's working and what's not? So let's stay logical here and stack them by categories, by matching, I would say. So I will just exclude sport and fitness, and here I'm targeting people interested in fast food meals and in pizza. Okay, so I just name my ad group fast food plus pizza to actually understand what I'm doing here. You can choose to leave the optimized targeting on or turn it off. So what we do is that most of the time we just keep it on, because it really helps to get more conversion. Once again, if you see that it's not working for you, you just want to try to turn it off. We're doing this at our stage because we have some data then in your situation, if you don't have any data yet, you might just turn it off. But in this situation, I'm going to leave it on. Now, let's create my ad, and I will click here on create a new video ad. So again, I'm just going to paste my ad here, and as you can see this time, I have the option to actually send people to a landing page. So here I will actually just put my product page link, and here you can also put a display link. So for instance, if you want to be more aggressive and just use this extra portion of text to just give an information, for instance, exclusive sale, you can do it. So here I will put exclusive sale, Black Friday, and as you will see, it will already tell to people in the link that there is something happening here. So if you want to have a look at all the formats, you just want to click here, and as you can see here, I have this information, so some extra space to seduce people and invite them to click on the call to action. Now let's talk about the call to action. Here you can pick any call to action from here, but you can also insert any text here. You have 10 characters. So what I will do here, for instance, is, so I will just go with get offer. So you can type anything you want, and in the headline you want to make sure people understand what the product is about. So I just type here weight loss. We can see this in the banner, so it looks pretty decent. You can have a look at all the variations here in desktop and in mobile, just to make sure it looks good and accurate. Now there is two things missing, the headline and the description. So for the headline is displayed especially in responsive format, which means that sometime your ad will also be displayed as a discovery ad, and in that case you want to make sure that your headline is decent enough. Now I just click on create campaign, and I will actually create this first campaign with one ad group. Here as you can see, I only have one ad group for now, and as I want more, what I will do is I will just click here, click on copy, then I will actually paste it again, and I will actually just change my targeting options. So here what I'm doing is I'm basically just inserting a new ad group in my campaign, which means that I will have two ad group, and the algorithm will pick the best performing one to spend the whole budget. So I did this twice, and now I have my other ad groups here. As you can see, this is the original one, and here I have two extra ad group. What I want to do is I just want to change the targeting options here. So let's click on this one here, and let's go in audiences. What I want to do to actually avoid all kind of overlap is I just want to edit my audience segments, and I just want to exclude those from this copy. And now I want to target people interested in fitness. And now I will change my ad group name to fitness. So actually in that way, I will understand what I'm targeting here. So now let's click on this one. And once again, I want to change targeting options. So I just click here, and I will go under audiences. I will just go back in audience segments, go back here and try to find any other in-market segment that might be accurate and related to my product. So I will just go, for instance, for sport and fitness again, and I just want to go for people interested in exercise equipment. Once again, I'm going to rename it to make sure I understand what I'm doing. This is basically how you set up a conversion campaign. Now, if you go under settings, as you can see, there is many options you can use to actually make sure that your campaign is optimized. So for instance, if you just want to change the goals, you have multiple goals in your account, you can just go here and use campaign specific goal settings and actually select a custom conversion. In that way, you will make sure that the conversion shown in your account is the purchase or the add to cart or whatever conversion you'll be choosing, instead of stacking all the conversions. Also, you can just choose your device targeting, and of course, very important, you can choose the frequency capping. So if you don't want to spam people with your ad, you can, for instance, make sure they do not view the ad more than once per day and more than 3 per week. So now that this campaign is set up, let's create some hot audiences. So let's create some remarketing audiences. So to do this, you just have to click here, and you just have to click under Audience Manager, and you will be able to create some audiences based on your website visitors, based on your YouTube visitors, etc. Now you just click here and you have website visitors, for instance, and as you can see, you can target any visitors of a page. You can target people who visited some page without visiting another. So for instance, if you want to target people who visited a product page without visiting the add to cart or purchase page, you can do this. So if you want to retarget people in a specific way, you can also do this. So let's say for now, I just want to target people visiting my website. I will just click on visitor of a page, and then I will just put my domain name here. As you can see, we can pre-fill the segment with people who match the rule within the past 30 days. And then here you can actually choose a membership duration. So what I tend to do is I just make it as big as I can. So I try to keep people as long as I can in the audiences. So 540 days in this situation. Then you just want to click on create segment and it will create the audience. What you can also do is you can create some audiences based on YouTube users. So if you click here, you'll be able to actually, once again, select people who viewed any video from a channel, viewed certain videos, view any video as an ad from a channel, subscribe to a channel, liked any video. So you can do very cool things here. And as long as people are being interested in your videos, you will be able to retarget them. And that's why having a discovery campaign is very important, because this will help you to generate some hot audiences that you will be able to retarget from here. So to create those audiences, very simple. Just select any option from here, select your YouTube channel. Once again, I recommend you to put 540 days, and then you just click on create. Now let's create this campaign where we'll be targeting people engaged with our brand with the audiences we just created. Let's click here on new campaign. So what you want to do now is you want to click on sales. You just want to click on continue here. You want to stay with video ads to drive conversions and click on continue. Here, this campaign, as always, we want to respect the naming convention. So I would call it sales conversion hot audiences. Again, here, I'm going to pick a target cost per action. In your situation, if you have a fresh new account, just stay with maximize conversions. And Google is suggesting me my TCPA here. I will just go with something very close to the max. Now you just want to click here under budget. You want to set up your daily budget. As you're working on smaller audiences, you might not need a very large budget. Here in the networks, as you can see, you cannot change anything in the conversion campaign. Then you just want to select your countries, your language once again, your extensions. And now once you're here in the ad group, you can literally do the same thing, but you want to keep one audience per ad group. So let's start with website visitors. Here I'm going to call this one website visitors, and I will actually go here under audience segments. I just want to go under your data, click here, click on browse, click on website visitors, and you can select your audience. As you can see, you have the audience sizes here. So I will go for all website visitors 19 days in my situation. And you always want to keep one audience per ad group. You don't want to stack them together, because otherwise you won't be able to understand what's working and what's not. So let's stick with this one for now. Then once again, you just have to create your video ad. So as you can see for now, I have my campaign with only one ad group. Once again, I'm just going to duplicate it. So just click here, click on copy, then you just paste it, and then we are going to change the targeting option to target people engaged with our YouTube videos. So as you can see, I just pasted this audience here. So as you can see, I just pasted this ad group here. I'm going to rename it to YouTube video viewers. And I'm about to click on it. Go under audiences, click on edit audience segments. You want to go on browse, your data here, YouTube users, and you can select your audience here. As you can see, once again, you want to click here on your data. And as you can see, you can select any list of YouTube users here that you have created previously. So let's say I want to go for viewed any video as an ad during the past 30 days. And of course, I'm going to remove the previous one because I don't want to stack them within the same ad group. Now let's click on save, and you are done. So now I have my campaign with two ad groups. So website visitors and YouTube video. Now let's talk about our best YouTube ad strategy. So our best YouTube ad strategy is actually a strategy where first you want to grab people interest by showing them a discovery campaign. So remember, discovery campaign are shown into results whenever someone types a keyword or someone enters an audience showing an interest in an option we have chosen. For instance, if I want to show my ad to all the people typing weight loss in YouTube, I can do it with a discovery campaign, and if they click on it, I will be able to retarget them because they will enter into a remarketing audience. And then what you can do, as those people are entering into your hot audiences at a very, very low cost, you can retarget them. So remember, one person entering your hot audience in your discovery campaign will cost you between 2 and 5 cents. So it's very, very cheap to have high quality engaged people in your audiences, because people entering in your audience will be people clicking on your ad in the search results and watching a certain portion of your video. So this is very useful to generate high quality audiences. And then of course you can retarget them with any kind of format. So we do skippable in-stream ads, non-skippable in-stream for branding, display for branding, bumper for branding. So of course, if you're just starting out, you just want to stick with this campaign as first to actually generate some hot audiences, and you want to retarget those people, so YouTube video viewers, with your skippable in-stream ad. At the same time, you can split test this setup against targeting cold audiences, which means in-market audiences, keyword audiences directly with your skippable in-stream ad. If you have enough data, you can also retarget your website visitors with all those ads. So the skippable in-streams, the non-skippable in-streams, the displays, the bumper. So the main golden rule here is to make sure that your tracking is in place, so you'll be able to use YouTube ads efficiently to maximize your conversion. So now let's talk about how to test your ads. As I told you previously, there is a testing structure you want to follow. There is no ABO, there is only CBOs in YouTube, so you cannot control the budget on an ad set level in Google Ads and YouTube ads. So what you want to do is you want to create 2 separate campaigns, and in each campaign you will have one different variable. It can be an audience, so if you want to test one audience against another, you can just create 2 campaigns. The first one will be with audience A, the second one will be with audience B, and you want to make sure that both have the same budget, both have the same creative, so in that way you can give them an equal chance and see which one is performing the best. So let's take this campaign back as an example. Let's say I want to test website visitor audience against my YouTube video audience. What I will do is I will actually make a copy of this campaign, and I will remove one ad group in each campaign. So let's click here, click on copy, then you want to paste it. Let's paste it here. So now it's pasted, and what I will do is I will just rename this one to website visitors. I will enter into it, and I will actually put YouTube video viewers in pause, which means that there is only one ad group active here. It's website visitors. Go back to all campaigns, take the other one, call it YouTube viewers, and you're going to pause the opposite ad group. So here I'm going to pause the website visitors and target YouTube viewers. So in that way, you have 2 different campaigns. The first one is actually the one where I'm testing the website visitors, and the other one is the one where I'm testing the YouTube viewers. And that's the only way to split testing in YouTube ads. Same way, if you want to test some creative, you can just keep your best performing audience in your ad group, and you just want to have one creative per ad group to make sure those are being tested in an accurate way. So now let's talk about how to scale and optimize your ads. So the first step is to understand how to optimize your ads, because you really want to make sure that your budget is used in an efficient way. So let's talk about optimization. So the first thing you want to do when you optimize your campaign is you want to make sure you select the last 3 days. Then you want to enter into your campaign, and as you can see, there is many options here, and we're going to cover all those to see how we can optimize our ads, because optimization is very important prior to scaling. So there is many ways and many options to actually optimize your campaign. The first thing you want to do is you want to click in your campaign to actually have a look at the performance of each ad set. And as you can see here, each ad set is performing in a different way. We have some ad sets that are actually giving us conversion for only €2.38 and some ad sets giving us conversion for $5.56. So the next thing you want to do is you want to actually take a look at each ad group and enter into each ad group to have a look at which ad is performing and which ad is not. And as you can see here, the budget is not spread wisely across all ads. This is totally normal, but what you want to understand is you want to take a look at the metrics. So for instance, this ad here is actually an ad costing us $5.99 per conversion, while this one is only costing us $5.21. So what we might have to do is we might have to actually pause this ad here to keep this one to maximize our budget setting. The next thing you want to do if you are doing keyword targeting, you just want to enter your ad group and you actually want to take a look at the keyword inside it to see the performance of each keyword. So let's go here in content, let's go in keyword, and as you can see here, the cost per conversion also depends on each keyword. So this is also something you want to consider, and you want to make sure that you turn off the bad performing keyword to actually make sure the budget is spent on the best performing one. So this is also a way to optimize your ads. In the same way, if you are doing placement targeting, so if you are actually targeting certain videos or certain channel, you can actually have a look here under placement at all the channels and all the videos where your ads are being displayed. And once again, if it's costing you too much, you can just remove them from your targeting options. And we can also optimize at the device level. As you can see here, mobile phones are also costing me more money than tablets and computers. So definitely you don't want to exclude mobile phone because that's where the traffic comes from, but you can do some bid adjustment, which means that you can decrease the bid or increase the bid to make sure your budget is actually used in a right way. Then once your ads are optimized enough, you just want to let them run to actually make sure that the cost per conversion stays accurate. So now let's talk about scaling. So scaling is way different from Facebook ads because once you have identified your best ad group, meaning your best audience and your best ad, you just want to combine them together in a campaign. So you just create a new campaign with your best ad group and your best performing ad, and you just start with a high budget, so anything above $250 per day. Then what will happen is that you will get some conversions, and a few days after you will see limited by budget, and that's where you want to scale. You just want to click here and you just want to follow the recommendation, and actually the algorithm will do his job. So that's pretty simple. It's also very healthy because it helps you to make sure that you have enough data before scaling. So ladies and gents, this is the end of the YouTube ad course.
Hi guys, my name is Jasmine. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys all things influencer marketing for Instagram and TikTok. Influencer marketing is so important and is a great way to drive traffic and conversions to your online stores. The main important thing with influencer marketing is feed. So I'm going to go over Instagram feed and what you should have on your Instagram feed before you even start researching influencers, because that's something that's really important. So I'm going to pull up one of my stores, and it started off as a dropshipping store. Now it's a hair brand, but it started off as a dropshipping store. So first things first, before you even reach out to influencers, you want to make sure your logo is present as your profile picture. I'll highlight it here. And you want to make sure you have a good bio. So your bio should really consist of your catch line, right? What is your niche? Is natural hair. So my slogan is making furrows flourish. You really want to have a slogan in your bio because that's something that's going to catch people's attention. Usually when people come on your Instagram account, they at least read the first couple lines on your bio. Thing to pay attention to that I notice on a lot of dropshippers pages. I don't know if this is just because you guys are excited to get started or whatever, and it's kind of cliche and surface level, but it does make a big difference. You want to make sure that you have more followers than you do following. When you go to follow someone, right? When someone follows you, usually we click on their page to see how many people they're following, how many followers they have, and we're more likely to follow them back following less people than they have followers. So something to pay attention to, because that is something that I notice a lot with dropshippers, that sometimes you guys may have like 10 followers, but you're following 300 people. The social proof aspect just doesn't look good. So you want to pay attention to that, because it's more important than you think. When you're a new dropshipper, right? Or even your starting dropshipper, it's really, your feed really does matter. Your feed matters. You want to have an aesthetically pleasing feed. The thing that I do notice is that a lot of you guys have product pictures, and that's all you have, just different products, pictures of your products, which is okay, but your audience needs to see more than that. You are selling a product, but you're also selling to people, right? So you want to pay attention to your target audience and post content that relates to your product, but also reaches and targets your target audience. I'll show you an example of that. So like I said, this store started as a dropshipping store, and you guys will see that when I show you their influencer marketing ads, but then later on, I transitioned into natural hair care products as well. So pictures of the products, as you can see, but I also have pictures aren't the product. These pictures, these are called filler posts. I call them filler posts because they're not about the product necessarily itself, but it's about the target audience product in the natural hair care niche. So a lot of my filler posts will be in relation to natural hair. As you can see, for this dropshipping store, I am in the jewelry niche and music niche. So a lot of my filler content is about music or love. So that's the same thing you want to do with whatever your niche is, whether it's jewelry, natural hair, kids. So for example, if you are doing art or kids, you want to have filler posts in relation to that. What that's going to do is going to help your followers stay engaged, because nobody wants to look at 200 pictures of products all day on your Instagram feed. It's not going to keep your followers. A lot of these posts you can create in Canva, and I actually recommend it. So like, I'll show you a example. I'm selling natural hair care products, that natural hair industry, girls with natural hairs and curls, girls that may like to do their hair. So I created this post in Canva, and it's like a meme. So you guys know that memes on Instagram, people think it's funny, or people are more likely to relate, more likely to engage, whether they're laughing, commenting, on cue, whatever, they're more likely to engage. So these filler posts really help with your engagement. So for this specific post, I decided to show, all right, which baddie are you in the terms of hair? And I have, the first category is natural, obviously, because that is my niche. And then I go on and I describe another type of way that women may enjoy to wear their hair, which is lace and wigs, etc. Or we have people that may prefer to do their hair themselves and try different hairstyles, or people who like to wear scarves and bonnets, girls who are bald and, rock super short haircuts, or people who like to wear their hair in braids. So there's different types of styles that caters to a different type of person. What this does is it helps with engagement, one, and it also it's almost like a free promo, right? Because think about how many times you see a meme or something that you relate to on Instagram and you repost it to your story. This is a free way to help drive traffic to your store, especially if you're new to dropshipping or you don't have a big budget to spend on ads. This can help drive traffic to your store, to your Instagram page for free, because if people can relate to one of these, more than likely they're going to repost it on their story. And guess what? Whoever watches their story might click on it too, look through it, and if they relate to something, they're going to repost it as well. So you're getting free shares, traffic to your Instagram page and your website potentially. So you want to create, all I did was come up with the names, and I made this post in Canva. So for example, like if you were doing something in the art niche, right, you can do something like, oh, what type of artist are you? Color pencil sketcher? Are you a digital art NFT creator? Like, you want to use your creativity to create these type of content so that it helps drive your page and traffic to your store. I think that is also important to do when you post, and I do this on all of my posts. As you can see, this post did pretty well, got 400 likes for the amount of followers I have on here. And that's another thing. You do not need a lot of followers to make money as a dropshipper. Followers does not equal money. You can boost this post, and that's what I did for this specific post. I boosted this post on Instagram, and I had so many people commenting. I had a lot of reshares. I think this post got over 100 reshares to people's stories, and it helped grow this Instagram account. Another thing, you do want the captions to be engaging. So in this case, I just asked, which one are you? And I put which one that I think I am, to make it a little lighthearted. And another thing you want to do for all of your posts, you want to tag a geolocation. So geolocations are really helpful, and I do these in all of my posts. Like in this example, I tagged a different city. So you want to tag a geolocation. Geolocations, you want to tag any major city, any major landmark or historic place. And what that's going to do is it can help also get you exposure to your Instagram account. It can lead to traffic onto your store and your website if it catches the right people's attention. When you click on this geolocation, the geolocation for Dallas is going to bring up the top post, right? And it's going to also bring out recent posts. So imagine you're, visiting Dallas or whatever, and you're visiting Dallas and you just want to check out to see if there's anything major in Dallas. If my post is on here, that may be something that's going to capture your attention. It may not be exactly what you're looking for, but if it potentially captures your attention, you're going to click on it. And most times when you click on a post, you're going to click on that person's page to see what they're about. So like this girl, she's like Dallas, Texas, for people to like potentially download your app. So that's the purpose of geolocations, because it can help bring exposure to your potential account. And another thing, when you're posting, you also want to post different hashtags. So the hashtags should be a mixture of things that are directly related to your product, and also things that are directly related to your niche, and then some random things. What that does is you're focusing on reaching your specific customer, but the random ones are also going to help potentially bring exposure to new people that don't know about your product. So Instagram allows you to use, I think, 26 hashtags about. First couple are directly related to my product, which is in this case hair growth and natural hair. But then I also have some random ones in there, like trendy, the shade room, viral, explore page, because I'm trying to also reach an audience beyond my niche to bring them in and convert them into my custom. So as far as your feed and posting, you want to have an aesthetically pleasing feed, at least between 6 to 9 pictures before you even reach out to influencers. Once you have your feed created and designed, then you are ready to reach out to influencers. So there are a couple types of influencers on Instagram, and I'm going to go through them as well and show you a couple ways you can find influencers. The first way to find influencers is through hashtags. This is usually how I try to find like page influencers and potentially people influencers. So I'll show you the difference. So this is an example of a page influencer, right? It's a page. They repost different types of content. So I like to make this clear because people get confused. So page influencers are good to work with. You just need like a repost of your product, and it's not necessarily like specific to one person. So like page influencers, they're just reposting everyone's content. What's important though about page influencers is you still want to study the person's feed or the page's feed, because that's going to make a difference in how well your ad performs with them. What I see a lot of times is people will just send them a copy of their Facebook ad video and pay them to repost it. That's not going to work on here. You really have to pay attention to the feed and what type of content they post, and try to make it in relation to what they're posting. So like, for example, they post a lot of meme-like content, and they also post a lot of love-related content, right? So if I was going to work with them, I wouldn't just send them a video of my natural hair care product or a picture and tell them to repost it, because that's not necessarily going to do well. You can see an example. This person actually did that, and it only has 400 likes in comparison to the rest of their posts, right? So it's really important that it fits within the feed. So although you may be doing a product that's not in relation to love, you can relate that product into love, because you have to step into your creativity. I'm going to show you an example. So like, if I was going to work with them, I would find a post relates to their feed. And what post I would probably do with them is a post I did on here last February. You can see if I just want my scalp massaged and forehead kisses. This is something I would send to them. Or another one, if you love him, you gotta oil his scalp too. Or something like this, oil her scalp if you love her, right? I would send them a video like this. Some use this caption, oil her scalp if you love her, but then probably tag at Yuli Hair in relation to the type of content they post. So I hope that makes sense as far as you want to study the feed. As you can see, again, this one, this post, this advertiser, it has nothing to really do with the type of content they post. So you want to make sure into their feed, because that is very important if you want your post to have higher chance of doing well. I had them do something like that for my dropshipping store, and it did well. It had 5,000 likes. So you want a lot of comments. You want to make it in relation to the type of content that they post. And the same thing for this. This is another example of a page influencer. You want to study their feed and see what type of posts that they do. And if you really like their feed, guess what? This little follow button on Instagram is going to show you pages that are in relation to current page that you're on. What I'll do, so like if this page has good engagement, I like their feed, I want to work with them and find more pages like them, I'll click this little arrow button right here, and it will bring me to pages that are similar to them. So that's working with a page influencer. And as you can see, I did another post with them, Love Bible, and they did a video for me, and it got over 82,000 views because it's in correlation to what their page is about. So that's really important when you're working with pages. You want to make sure your content fits within their feed. And like I said, to find page influencers, use hashtags. So natural hair hacks. Something in relation to my niche, the top, and I might click on something that actually has a lot of likes or views, and then I'll click on the page to see what is it. Is it a person or is it a page? In this case, is a person. And this is a good way to find people and or pages. So she's an influencer, of course. She has posts. So what I'll do is I also analyze her posts, her feed. And this is something that I notice also with dropshippers that is not followed commonly. If you are working with an influencer, you need to analyze their feed. You need to see what posts do well versus what posts that don't do well. If I want to work with this girl, I'm not going to send her my Facebook ads video and tell her to repost it on her feed. That's something that I noticed that a lot of dropshippers or people do in general. And then they say, oh, influencer marketing doesn't work, or oh, the post flop. Of course it's going to flop. Do you see her feed? Within her feed streams, send me your Facebook ad video that you had someone on Fiverr create and let me repost it. Of course it's not going to do well. And that's why I said you have to study the page and the platform. In this case, a reposted video from like something that was created on Fiverr or something you created yourself could potentially work, right? Because all they're doing is reposting other people's content. There's no direct flow, or it's not the same person repeatedly on their feed. But for someone like this, it's the same person. All she has is her on her feed, and maybe occasionally like her man. You sending her a random video that you created is not going to do well on her feed. You want to study what does well on her feed. So in this case, if I was having her be an influencer for my natural hair care, I found her in the natural hair care hashtag. This example, I would have to send her the product, right? Because I noticed that she's involved a lot in her posts. She creates the content. I wouldn't be able to send her a video of my natural hair oils and have her repost it because it's probably not going to do well. She needs to actually be in the picture because that's what her audience likes to see. You have to pay attention to those details. Or even if I was sending her something from my dropshipping store that's related around jewelry, I should probably send it to her and ask her to do content with her spouse, because that's what her audience is used to seeing on her feed. I wouldn't just send her a video I already created and have her repost it. That's not going to do well. And if I decide, oh, I really like her, I really want to work with her, guess what? This down is going to show me pages in relation to her of either other influencers. So Collabstar, I actually discovered this website because they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be an influencer on here. I not get the same influencer content made and get exposure from their platform. You're paying almost around the same amount of money, because on here you can choose your platform. So it has it for Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, or user-generated content. So it has all three. So like, for example, if I'm searching for Instagram, I put the following count. I usually like to work with between 10 to 50,000 followers on Instagram. That's my sweet spot. It's between micro and macro, in my opinion. You know, the bigger it is, obviously, the more money it costs. And then the lower the following, usually worth the money at all, in my opinion. You can choose the category, choose the price. So you can narrow it by price. So like if you want to work with people under $250, you know, $250 max is what I'm paying an influencer. Like if you know that's the case for you, then you can set it by price. You can even set it by country, etc., city. If you want to get really specific, even gender. You can also set it by categories if you want to. So I'm on here, right? I'm looking for influencers. I'm seeing their different prices. What I do is I just click on an influencer and I check out their feed. So like, for example, on Collabstar, you can log in. It'll tell you the prices. So this is what she's charging for an Instagram post. 2 Instagram story posts for 24 hours, $350. Instagram feed post carousel, $650. So what I do like about Collabstar, when you log in, you can contact them and negotiate these prices. So these aren't necessarily set prices. You can, send an offer. Let's say you're like, one Instagram post, can I pay you $100? You can negotiate if they don't have something on here that you like. Personally, I use this website to find influencers, but I do not use it to contact them through Instagram, just because I feel like you can negotiate a little better. That's just my opinion. She has 17,000 followers. See her feed. You want to analyze her feed and you want to see if she fits with what you're trying to sell. She probably wouldn't fit best for my natural hair brand, but she could potentially fit well for my dropshipping jewelry store because very artistic. She's very into music and my store caters to music and jewelry. So just looking at her feed, it looks like she has a lot of likes. So you want to pay attention to, you guys, like, follower count matters to an extent, but you want to pay attention to the engagement and to the likes and comments, because people can buy followers. You can have 100,000 followers and get like 300 likes, and it's not realistic. You want the person to 5% engagement. That's really what I try to look for. And I just compare. They have about 10 to 20,000 followers. Should be getting a few thousand likes on their photos. And she does. Like, if she had like 600, 700 likes, that would be kind of a red flag, because you're above like all over 10,000 followers. I just look at the likes and I look at the comments more importantly than the likes, because people can also buy comments. But she seems to have a lot of likes and comments under her pictures, which is a good sign that her engagement is natural and authentic. You can tell by the comments that her followers pay attention to what her caption is, because people are saying, I'm trying okay, and then, you know, like, this caption is my life and stuff like that. So that's important. So you want to make sure they're not just leaving heart eyes and stuff like that. Like, you want to see if some people actually pay attention the person is posting about and what they're saying in their caption. Because if you're advertising something with someone, obviously your caption is going to be in relation to your product. So you want to pay attention to see if they actually pay attention to what that person is saying. So if I was researching for influencer marketing, she would probably be someone I would write on my list of potential people to work with, because she fits within a niche that I do have. She has good and high engagement. Most of her posts average about, I would say, 2,000 likes, and that is pretty good for her following count, 17,000 followers. So like I said, I try to have the engagement between like 5%, 3 to 5% or higher when I'm working with like an influencer. And I'll just keep looking and compare it to make my list to see if that's someone I would want to work with. This person, she's only charging $200 for a permanent feed post and $400 for one feed post and 2 slide posts on our story. So her price is a little cheaper. Let's go see her page. Beauty skincare. So she would maybe be a better fit for my hairline, natural hairline, because she's like beauty and hair and things like that. And see, like I was saying, the following count doesn't matter that much. She has 18,000 followers. So she has more followers than the other girl. Like, more followers than the other girl, 18,000 followers, but she's averaging, looks like, only about 500 likes per photo. And that's not a good, like, to me, that's a red flag. Like, you're, and I mean, obviously we know Instagram's algorithm is trash, so it could not be her fault. But if I'm going to pay someone money to promote something, I want the work with someone where the algorithm favors them. I'm sorry, because that's like your hard-earned money. I would not want to risk it. So in her case, I probably wouldn't work with her, because I mean, it doesn't seem like the algorithm favors her in comparison to her followers. And this could be new. When I mean, maybe her stuff was doing well, because I know that happens to my Instagram sometimes. But in this case, I probably would not, because her engagement is low in comparison to this other girl who has less followers and a higher engagement. So that's something you really want to keep in mind. A lot of people just look at the following count and think that's all it takes, but you have to analyze their feed. But if I did want to go with her, and give her a shot, I would probably negotiate these prices, to be honest, because I probably would not pay $200 for a feed post with her. I would negotiate to see if I could get her to do it in exchange for the product, or at a lower price, like $100 or something, and give her a shot. Now, if it does do well for me, then I would continue to work with her. So you just want to keep that in mind when you're working with influencers. It's the same platform for TikTok, and for TikTok, I'll just change the platform to TikTok. I usually keep it all. And for TikTok, I usually like to go bigger, because TikTok is a little easier to go viral on there. I like to, and it's a newer platform, I like to keep the following for TikTok a little bigger, and then I search. A lot of times what I've noticed with TikTok, one, since because it is a newer platform, a lot of people on there do not know their influencers, one, and two, it's a lot cheaper to work with influencers on TikTok, you guys. Like, a lot of influencers will do things for free in exchange for the product, like for a very cheap price compared to their following. So TikTok influencer marketing is definitely something you want to take advantage of while you can, because it's not going to last. Say you're doing click on their page and see how much they're charging. So this person is a food and lifestyle creator. Let's say you're doing something in the kitchen niche or something. She may be someone that's good to work with. So it says you will get one TikTok 30 seconds video showcasing your product. And so you want to click on her TikTok icon and not the Instagram icon to analyze her TikTok feed, because that's where she would be posting for you. As you can see, she has 99,000 followers on TikTok. I am not working with someone on TikTok if 90% of their videos don't have above 10,000 views. I'm not working with them. And I'm not working with them because TikTok is too new of a platform for, in my opinion, wishy-washy engagement. Your engagement has to be all the way through for me to think you're worth it all the time. Because like I said, it's easier for anyone to go viral on TikTok. So if it's hit or miss, I'm not working with you. I'm not chancing it, because the whole purpose is I want my product to go viral. I want it to do well. In her case, her video views are pretty consistent at above 10,000 views. So she may be worth the price that she's charging. And she does different recipes, right? So if you were doing like a kitchen gadget, she would probably be someone that is good to work with. And that's the thing. You want to pay attention to what the person is posting. You're not going, just because her engagement is good, I'm not going to send her a natural hair care product or a jewelry product, because it's going to flop. Like, all her posts that do the best are around food. So if you have a food dropshipping store, she would probably be the best person to work with and not over someone else. So like, if you have a cool gadget to like peel her potatoes while she's cooking, she could talk about that before she shows the recipe. So you want to fit it into their content so it looks organic, but it also gets you that exposure. TikTok, if you don't have a TikTok, someone like this, you would probably ask them to put like the link to your product in her bio for 24 hours. Or if you do have a TikTok account, tell her to, link your TikTok account, like tag the TikTok account or at your TikTok account, so that people can then move to your page. That's with TikTok influencer marketing, that's how you want to do it. In this case, you would be sending her the product as well. You would not be having her repost your Facebook ads video. And I know I keep saying that, but I've seen it done so many times, and I'm just like, ... question mark, like, why would you do that? I definitely would be sending her whatever my product is that's in relation to her niche, so that she can post it. So you really do want to work with her, but you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so much work to just send the product to. You can see like the video about her puppy did not do well because it has nothing to do with food, and her audience likes food. So if you had a pet store, you would not send her a pet product because it wouldn't do well. Unless it's a food pet product, then that could have potential. But anyway, so let's say you don't want to send her the product, or it's just too much, and you can't afford this $250 that she's asking for a 30-second or 60-second video with your product. That I've tried recently that works is a duet. So a duet, if you use TikTok, the platform, you know that you can create duets or different response videos to another TikTok. So you can reply to someone's comment through a video, you can do a duet, etc. I did that. I tried that. So I'll show you an example. So for this for a very reasonable price, I think they did it for like $25 or $50. They have a good following. They were very hit or miss. but I was able to negotiate a duet. So what a duet is basically a reaction to your product. So your video is on one side, their reaction is on one side. And what that does is it allows them to react. It's a reaction video to your product. And in this case, it's so much cheaper and you can get things done a little faster. You're not sending them the product. They're just reacting to your video. So I know something, if you watch YouTube, something that's popular on YouTube is reaction videos, like reacting to, for example, Nicki Minaj's new album, reacting to Drake's new album. People do reviews on things. This is something similar to that on TikTok. So you can have them do to your product. And if it's within their niche, they do a lot of like dancing and they're a couple. So that's in relation to my niche. I had them do something similar. So like had a food product or a kitchen gadget that, you know, was really cool and could make cooking or something easier. You could have her do a duet reaction video if you wanted to like skip sending her the product, wasting time. If you wanted something quick, a good way to gain exposure and traffic to your TikTok or to your store as well. That was the influencer marketing portion of this course. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hey guys, it's Ved again. I'm very happy to have you on this course, this branding course, because we are going to share some insane value here. So let's dive into it. So first of all, we're going to talk about digital brand assets. So how to choose your brand name, how to choose your brand colors, how to pick your brand identity, how to brand your customer support, and how to brand your creative. And then we're also going to talk about your physical brand assets. So how to brand your packaging, how to brand your thank you cards, how to brand your bags and gifts, how to brand your product, and how to brand your manuals. Okay, so before diving into this, the first thing you have to understand is that branding is not something that you need to do only once you start doing some sales. The most common mistake we heard, you can only start branding once you have enough cash flow. So branding is a step-by-step process, and of course you don't have to come with your product branded to the market straight away. You want to start by branding your digital assets. So first of all, you want to make sure that you have some mockups, you have your customer support which is branded, you want to brand your creative, you want to make sure that every asset on your website looks decent and looks branded. And then once you have the cash flow, you want to transpose this branding. And then only once you have the cash flow and once you have enough volume, you want to transpose this branding to your physical product. So let's start with digital brand assets. So digital brand assets are actually some assets that will help you to leverage your brand identity without having to invest a penny on a physical branded product. Actually, having a strong identity is very important to make the difference. So the first thing you can do is you want to use a strong tagline or statement within your product. For instance, what I do with all my stores, so if you take the neck massager as an example, as you can see here on my product name itself, I have the #1 neck massager. Okay, so this is my tagline in all communication. In every communication I will have, this will be my tagline, my baseline that I will use to actually make sure people recognize me as being the #1 neck massager solution, and also this will help me to stay top of mind for my customers. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your product looks branded. You want to have a mock-up. Even if you don't ship the product branded, okay, you want to make sure that you have a mock-up showing your packaging. So to have a mock-up, it's pretty straightforward. You can just go on placeit.net. There is plenty of mockups you can use. You can have some t-shirt mockups, some box mockups. It's quite easy, and we will also leave you a link in the cheat sheet so you can order your box mockup from Fiverr straight away. Of course, as you know, at first you are not going to send the product branded, you are going to send it without any box. So you want to make sure that in your general terms and condition you specify that having the box, the original box, depend on the situation of the stock. So if there is no branded box in stock, they might get a product with a different packaging. That's it. The thing you can brand is your customer support, and you can brand your emails, of course, and you can also brand your phone welcome message. So with all my stores, I tend to have a phone number, and when people actually call this phone number, there is an automatic answering machine which is branded. So it's a very nice voice over that will actually welcome them, greet them, and make them feel as they are actually being welcomed in a real store, in a real brand. Of course, there is nobody answering the phone, but this is definitely a small hack you want to use to stay more branded. So as I told you guys, whenever someone will call this phone number, you will welcome those people with a welcome message, and that's the message you can
Welcome to Silexo Technologies. An operator will take your call in a moment. For inquiries about your order, we invite you to contact us by email at contact@silexo.com. For any other questions, please stay on the line.
So as you can see, this is very simple, but it's definitely a small step you can take to actually look more branded in front of your customers. So the phone welcome message branding is pretty straightforward. First, you want to get a phone number online, then you want to get a royalty-free music online, and then you can finally hire anyone from Fiverr to do the voiceover. And of course, if you have the budget, you can hire a VA online to answer the phone calls. So as you can see here, I branded all my creative in emails, also in Facebook ads, in Instagram, and it's very important to have your logo, but also to respect your brand colors all the time. So the next thing you want to do is definitely brand your creative. To do so, it's quite easy. You just want to go on Bilo.app and hire a content creator. You want to provide them with a script so they can literally just talk about your brand and give your brand name. This will definitely help you to get a better brand recognition, but also to make sure that your brand seems legit. Of course, if you have the budget, what you can do is you can actually get one box printed at a local printing store, and you want to pack your product with this box and send it to the content creator. So when they will do an unboxing and mention a brand name, this will look very, very legit and accurate. And then of course, don't forget to put a watermark on your creative if you want to make sure that people don't steal your ads. So this, for example, is one of our branded ads that we use, and as you can see, there is a watermark here. We also have some influencers actually talking about the product. They just give the brand name, and as you can see here, the product is branded because we managed to get only one quantity of the product branded. So we paid our supplier to get one product with our brand printed on it, only one. So not a full stock, not a full batch, only one product. And this was enough to actually make sure that we can produce some custom content. So as you can see here, we have some real people talking about the brand, and that's very, very important to make sure that your brand seems legit. So now let's talk about the physical product branding. So once you start having some sales, some cash flow, some money coming in, you want to invest this into your product because you want to make sure that your customer experience will actually be improved over the time. Branding your packaging is the very first step if you want to actually make the difference, and this is something you want to do as soon as possible once you start getting some sales. So you want to ask your agent for the package dimensions, and then you want to hire someone from Fiverr to actually design a box based on those dimensions. If you don't have enough budget to actually print a whole batch of printed boxes, you just want to actually go to a local printing store and print few boxes. Maybe 1, 2, or 3 boxes is fine, just to make sure that you can get some custom content. Of course, you want to keep one branded box for yourself, but you also want to send few of them to influencers so they can actually unpack the product and talk about your brand. Of course, if you have enough volume, so let's say for instance between 10 to 20 orders per day, you want to ask your agent to include the branded box in the pricing. Okay, so this is something you can negotiate. Instead of actually lowering the price, you can just ask your agent or your supplier to just give your customer a branded box. If you manage to do so, just make sure that the carton quality is decent. Please do not try to save money on the carton because that's a very, very bad thing. Don't forget that this is the first interaction of a customer with your brand. The whole experience might be bad just because of this, so please do not try to save on the carton. So this is actually an example of a box design made on Fiverr. So I just asked my agent to provide me with the box requirements and box dimensions. Then I actually gave them to the freelancer on Fiverr, and this box has been designed for Fiverr for a few couple of dollars. And then once again, this doesn't require a lot of budget. If you want to go branded, you can just go to a local printing store and ask them to print few boxes for you, so you can actually just take your smartphone and take some picture at home to have some decent pictures for your website. What we did here is that we asked our agent to actually send us only one branded product, as we didn't have the cash flow to print several branded products. So only one, and we send it to an influencer to actually ask her to make some custom content for our brand. What you can also do is you can also ask your agent to actually print some gifts, and this looks very, very nice. It's a small add-on, it doesn't cost you that much money. For instance, here to get those small bags, we had to pay only $1 extra per order. So by adding those small gifts, you will actually have a huge advantage over your competitor, because remember, you are getting branded as others are still drop shipping, and this is very nice to have to actually step away from the competitor. The other thing you can do is you can actually ask your agent to provide you with some thank you cards. So thank you cards are very, very cheap and very nice, so they have a lot of added value because you can play around with it. On a thank you card, you can just ask your customer to take an action. So of course you want to thank your customer for his loyalty and his purchase, but you also want him to take an action so he can get something extra. For instance, you want to ask him to share a voucher or coupon with one of our friends so he can get an extra discount, an extra voucher, or an extra warranty. So this is a very simple example of one of our thank you card in our brand, and as you can see here, it's nothing, it's just a small card designed on Canva, but it makes a difference because the customer experience starts with this card basically, and it's very nice to have. Also, you can actually leverage your UGC. You can ask your customer to provide you some UGC on this thank you card. In exchange of what, they will get something extra. So you can, for instance, give them an extra discount or give them an extra warranty on the product if they send you a picture with the product. That will also help you to leverage your brand value, and this will become an asset. The last step of a branding quest is actually to brand your product and your manuals. So this will require a minimum order quantity and some decent cash flow. Okay, so you need to have at least between 20 to 30 orders per day. Otherwise, you will have to put a large amount of money on the table, and once you're starting off, you don't want to invest that much money. So you want to make sure that you have a decent amount of order daily before diving into product branding. And of course, you want to start by asking him to send you a sample, okay? Because this is so important. Many times I've seen a lot of people with a branded product, but actually it wasn't looking good. The logo was so small, or the logo quality wasn't good. So you want to make sure that the branding is actually done on the right way. So of course, your agent might charge you more for this once you ask a branded product, so it might cost you between $1 to $3 extra. But once again, if you have enough volume, you can of course negotiate this. So always be careful once you start branding your product. You want to go step by step. For instance, if you have 4 color variation in your product, you want to brand the best selling color first, okay? And what you can do is you can actually lower the price of this best selling color to make sure people are getting the branded product, okay? So we started with white, for instance, because it was our best selling color. And then what we did is we scaled our branding to the red color, and then finally the pink color. So always work step by step. Okay guys, so that's it for the branding part. I hope that you appreciated those tips.
Hey guys, welcome to the next part of the free course. This section we are going to talk about automating your business and hiring virtual assistants. To get started, I'll tell you a backstory of mine with virtual assistants. I was having an internship at a consultant company, and they asked me to do some boring tasks all day. At that time, I was living in Medellin, Colombia, and wanted to discover the city and the country rather than spending my time writing articles about topics I didn't really care about. At the same time, after work, I was reading the book The 4-Hour Workweek from Timothy Ferriss. If you haven't read that book so far, you should definitely do it. The main idea of the book is that time is the most valuable asset that we have, and we should try to outsource all tasks that we don't want to do ourselves to other people and enjoy our newly created free time. This leads us already to the first don'ts while hiring virtual assistants. After reading the book, I thought I could hire people for each and every task, pay them, and expect them to do the work. This is how I hired my first virtual assistant on Upwork, promising me that with $1,000 he will build me an Amazon FBA business and make sure that I get $2,000 in profit per month, where he has a monthly profit share of 10%. The offer sounded perfect to me and I chose to hire him immediately. After paying the $1,000, I expected that everything goes well and that I'll be making $1,800 profit every month now. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case, and the VA started to come up with some problems he had, setting up my Amazon account and other things I didn't understand. After 2 months, he stopped replying to me, and this is how I lost $1,000. The lesson here is to take care who you are hiring and don't fall for amazing offers you get out there. There are surely some competent virtual assistants out there, but you need to find them first and make sure that they show you past results. So the main thing that is going to be covered during this section is going to be how to find, hire, and train virtual assistants. And those topics are going to be structured as follows. We're going to start about discussing when to hire a virtual assistant, then what a virtual assistant can do for you, where to hire a virtual assistant, the costs of hiring a virtual assistant, how to create a listing on Upwork, choosing the right candidate for the job, where to be careful while hiring virtual assistants, then how to train your virtual assistant, then I'm going to talk about Monazar marketing, future developments, and at the end, how to get organized, like which tools you should use to get organized with your work. So the question is going to be like, when should you hire a virtual assistant? And there are 5 things that I recommend considering before hiring a virtual assistant. The first thing is going to be like, you should have consistent sales. Like you should have at least 5 to 10 orders per day, providing you an income, providing you also the job of fulfilling orders that is going to consume your time, while hiring a virtual assistant could be a job that you can outsource to help you free up some time. An important thing is going to be profitability. Like your profit margin should be big enough to generate you an extra income so you can afford hiring a virtual assistant. And the third thing is going to be like, you should be ready to scale your business. You don't want to spend your time like fulfilling orders and answering to customer emails and answering DMs and comments on your Facebook ads. You want to focus on the most important task for your business to grow, and this is when hiring a virtual assistant is going to be a good time. If I feel like my business is missing some skills, like negotiating with suppliers, or I want to have a better customer support, I want to have better graphics for my store so my customers have a better experience, then I feel like I want to hire a virtual assistant for the knowledge missing in my business. If you feel like your work-life balance is getting out of hand, like you feel like you're spending much more time working, you're spending much more time in front of your screen than with your friends and family, then you should really consider hiring a virtual assistant so you can really free up some time. In this section, we're going to discuss what a virtual assistant can do for you. The first thing, I always make sure that I outsource in my business is going to be order fulfillment. They fulfill orders every day, and that they add the tracking numbers to each order and that they get sent to the customers so we have less complaints and the customer knows exactly where his package is. But this is just a time-consuming task that I don't want to do myself every day, especially if I'm having 20 to 30 orders per day. I rather outsource that task. Then another important part is going to be customer support. Your business, as soon as you're starting getting sales and everything, you'll receive a lot of emails, like customers asking where the product is, that they have some questions and stuff like that. I have a perfect template that I give to every VA, so they know exactly how to answer. If they have specific questions, the customers, they can always come back to me and ask me what they should reply. 90% of all the questions are the same. Then another task that a virtual assistant can take care of is surely like a virtual assistant can create a store for you. He can do the whole product research. He can also manage PayPal and Stripe cases if you give them the access to, and run ads for you. So in my case, for example, I can just come up with a product idea, I give it to my virtual assistants team, and they build the store, the Facebook pages, everything ready. So I just have to focus on the creatives and make sure that I run Facebook ads. The next topic is going to be like where to hire a virtual assistant. There are many platforms out there. I'm just going to share with you the ones that I used myself, where I had good experiences with. So the first one is going to be Upwork. This is like one of the main platforms to hire virtual assistants. I'll be showing you the platform later on. How to create a listing and everything. And the second one is going to be Fiverr. There it's really easy to find people. You can also see their past work there and also see their reviews. The costs of hiring a virtual assistant, they depend on how much you demand, how much time you demand from them. But if you want them to work full time for you, do the whole stuff, you can expect average costs between $300 and $500 per month for order fulfillment and customer support and some extra tasks. Just something really to be careful with is, if you find very cheap virtual assistants, you should really do a bit more research on the quality of their work, because I experienced that too. I hired virtual assistants for literally $100 per month, but the quality of work wasn't that good, and can literally ruin your business if you tell them to change something on your store or a product description. If the virtual assistant is not good enough, he can literally just throw away all the work that you did before. To create a listing on Upwork, it's pretty easy. You just go to upwork.com, then you can click get started, then you can hire for a project or work as a freelancer. We want to hire, then just accept the terms and conditions. As soon as you arrive here, you can write a headline for your job post. So here we're going to use virtual assistant for Shopify. Then here, what are the skills that we are looking for? Here you can click virtual assistant, you can click Shopify, email communication here, customer service. Thing is nice if they have it. We type in order fulfillment, because those are the main two things that I want to outsource in the beginning, my customer support and order fulfillment. Depends how much time you want to invest. Here I always choose medium, and here for how long will your work take, we start with 1 to 3 months just to see how the quality of our virtual assistant is. And I'm looking for either intermediate or expert. Entry is going to be difficult in the beginning for us if we want an experienced guy, and that's why we can choose intermediate. In my case, I don't like to pay people by hour, because I can't really track how much time they have invested into the task. I always use project budget, $300. As soon as you arrive to this page, you will see headline, virtual assistant for Shopify. You can add Shopify Dropshipping. Then here for the job description, you can type in I want to hire a virtual assistant to outsource task fulfillment and customer support. Then you can also add experience with Shopify is preferred and experience with customer support is preferred. And if you have some files that you can attach, you can surely upload it. Then here we see again we want virtual administrative assistants. That's right, those are the skills that we require. Then we want to hire them for 1 to 3 months, intermediate level, and the budget is $300. Here, that's also very important. You can add screening questions. Example, write your own question. Then you can just ask them what's 2 plus 2. Why to do that? Because there are some people who are for freelancers who have automated system that sends them emails as soon as posted for virtual assistant, and they immediately apply to it. We want to filter out people who exactly read our question, so this helps us with the screening in the beginning. If we see that somebody answered this question he read the job description, and if you have some advanced preferences, you can definitely add that. But in the beginning, I just click post your job now. Then here it gives you automatically a list of people they suggest that you can work with. You can invite them to the job. Then you can already see they have the number of completed tasks on Upwork. After 1 or 2 days, you will get some applications, and then you can screen all the applicants, and we will discuss later on how to choose the right one. And here you can just add your credit card, your credit card details or your PayPal account, but we can skip that for now. Then here you can add some information about your company. We can choose, for example, that if we have a health and fitness store, for example, or fashion and beauty, you can just select that. It's just me, and then click continue. Here you can just come up on jobs, click my jobs, and then you will see after 1 or 2 days how many people you hired. The proposals will appear here, and you can screen through all the people that you want. So the next topic is going to be as soon as you get those applications to your task, how to choose the right candidate. Just apply to the task, or have they really read our job post and also saw the screening question, and did they reply to it? So people who didn't reply to that question, I would generally not consider, because I just feel like they just apply to the task without seeing what it actually is. Then the second thing that I consider is like checking their experience and their availability. Like, I want to see what they did in the past. Did they have experience with Shopify or customer support? Can tell me about past experiences they have. And then I also want to know how much time they can invest. Like, are they students? Are they having another job? They really invest the time to work with me full time. If I want that, if they want to work full time, but generally, like, do they have enough time to invest? Another thing I have a look at is like, how good is their English, because my customer support is mostly going to be in English. So it's not the spoken English that I have a look at, but how is their typing, how is their writing, how is their grammar, just to make sure that my customers then later on have also a great experience with my customer support representative. And then if there are some previous reviews, I also check them and also ask them for a portfolio, for example, if they did previous work with other people, and check what they did before. And the third thing that I have a look at is like the soft skills a little bit. How's the communication? Like, do they reply fast to me, or do I have to wait like 3 to 4 hours till they reply again? Nice to have a conversation with them or not? And then with time, like I just ask myself, likable, and then also check like their general intelligence, because like I'm searching for a team member. I'm searching for somebody who works with me for the long term, and that's why soft skills are also important. Next thing we have a look at is like how to train your virtual assistant. Thing in the beginning, like as soon as you hire a virtual assistant, you have to be there. Like you can't just expect to do my customer support and then just leave them. They have questions in the beginning. They want to see like what are the do's and don'ts in your business, and that's why I would really suggest that in the beginning you are there. You help them, setting up everything, and you show them exactly what you want and what you don't want, and how everything should be done. And also, like in the first weeks, you should have low expectations because they are just starting, but with time. Second thing is for you should be like approachable and open for questions. Like, I mostly give them my WhatsApp number. Every time they have a question, they can just text me and make sure that I answer their questions fast, so they know exactly what needs to be done and what not, and like discuss all the do's and don'ts, what they should do and what they shouldn't do. Third thing I really suggest is going to be like to control the work. So for example, if a virtual assistant is doing your customer support, go and read the email sent, check if everything is done properly, and also give feedback if there is something that you think could be done better. And also discuss reporting, like they should like send you a daily report with all the emails sent and the queries that they had, or if you want them to have it weekly or monthly. Like, just make sure that you control the work, because if you don't control the work, maybe some things are done in the wrong way, and could harm your business in the long run. Discuss like where to be careful with your virtual assistant, especially in the beginning. And here I really suggest, for example, if a virtual assistant is doing the order fulfillment for you, is to use debit cards in the beginning, pop the amount that is needed, and so the virtual assistant can spend the money, because we don't know what could happen like with a credit card. Maybe there are some transactions that are going to be done that are not related to the business and could harm you also. That's why I would suggest using debit cards, and then also follow the transactions, just to make sure that the money is spent for order fulfillment and not for something else. The second thing is then it's also going to be for logins. You can give access to your private accounts. I'm doing that too, but I have trust in my virtual assistants. If you don't, you can create new passwords, or for example, for the Shopify store, you can add them as a staff member with limited permissions. Like, for example, I wouldn't give access to payment providers and stuff like that. Always follow the work done. Check emails are correctly replied to, if the orders are fulfilled in the right way with the virtual assistant. So if, for example, if you have hired a virtual assistant only for customer support and order fulfillment, you can check their skills, and you can increase their salary, but at the same time give them more responsibilities, for example, to create a store for you, or to make the product research, or negotiating with the suppliers. If you have the opportunity to give them more responsibilities and more tasks, you should definitely do it. Here I want to give a shout out to my team. Like, you can start as virtual assistants together, like hiring as a virtual assistant, but with time, my virtual assistants now are my business partners. Like, I'm working with them, and teamwork makes the dream work. So we push each other. In this section, we're going to talk about how to get organized. So after you've hired your virtual assistants, you need to get organized to make sure all the tasks are fulfilled, all the work is done, and that you can track the to-dos that need to be done. And for that, I'm using two tools. The first one is going to be Trello, which helps me managing the tasks and the project. And the second one is going to be WhatsApp, like just for daily communication. Make sure that you ask questions, that they can ask you the questions and everything. But now I'm going to take you through Trello to show you how you can set up everything. So to get started with Trello, you just need to type in trello.com and then here click on sign up. Here you can see your workspace. You can have some the boards where you organize your tasks. You can also use some templates, but we will discuss that later. And generally, the first thing that I like to do here is just to click away everything that I don't need. Here you can add your members. You can just type in the email address of your virtual assistants, for example, and invite them. So here you can click on plus, and you can type in your workspace name for our new store. So here we're going to call it, for example, Esperanza Store. Then workspace type, it's going to be, for example, if I want to organize the tasks of my customer support team, then I select human resources. You can add a description if you want, but you can just click continue. Then here you can add the email address of your virtual assistants. Here you will have some templates that you can have a look at you on how to organize your board. Just in the beginning, we're going to build our own board just to show you how this works. So here, for example, you can type in customer support to-dos. And here you can choose the background. I like to use the blue one, so it's really clear and organized. As soon as you arrive here, you can organize that exactly like that. I just leave it structured. Those are cards where you can add like the topic of the stuff. Here it's organized like there is the to-do. Here the virtual assistant can add the card to doing, and if it's done, you can add it to done. So for example, here we are going to add our first to-do, and this is, for example, read the Monazar template, okay, for the virtual assistant, so he knows exactly how to answer as soon as he gets questions on email, your virtual assistant's email, and then they can join this board. You can click on the card itself, for example, and you can add the member, like your virtual assistant, that you want the task to be finished. For example, if you want the task to be finished till Saturday 11th, you can just click save. And yes, you can also add some labels. For example, if it's a very important task, you can just add here the red one. Name it, for example, very important. Everybody knows that this is a task that needs to be done ASAP. As soon as the task is listed here, you can add other ones. So for example, reply to customer C, for example, or then you can also add a task like prepare a new email address, and you can list all the tasks that you have here. And then as soon as it's being done, you can the virtual assistant can just move it here, and you can see exactly like what is still in the to-do phase, what is being done, and what is actually done as soon as it's moved here. So this is how to organize your tasks, how to have an overview over the small tasks that you have, and make sure that all the to-dos are being done. So every time you have a new idea for the customer support team, every time you have a new task that you think needs to be done, you can just add it here to the to-dos. Every member in this board will see the new to-dos, and they know that they have to do it, and you can monitor like what is being done and what hasn't been done, just to make sure that you move forward with your business. So another thing that we can do, as soon as we come back here to the dashboard, we can create a new board. Again, if I want to have, for example, my whole team inside the Trello dashboard, and I can just name this board Esperanza team, And then again, like you can choose another color, for example, and then you just click create board. Everybody sees what everybody else needs to do. You can, instead of naming to do, for example, you can name this one customer support. You can add the tasks below. So for example, if we have a task for the marketing team, like for example, to create TikTok account, and then for example, run Facebook ads to influencers, you can add it here so everybody sees what everybody else needs to do. And then again, here we can add labels. So for example, if creating a TikTok account isn't that important, but we can just name it important instead of very important. Done till, for example, on Sunday the 12th at 1 p.m. and then just click save. The thing here is, for example, if the task is already done by the marketing team, they can just click the check button here, and then we will see it here as done. As for example, the date is approaching and the task is still not done. So for example, if they have to do it till today and the task is still not done, it will appear yellow and it will say due soon. Okay, so all the people will know like, hey, this task needs to be done and it's not done. And then the worst case, for example, where I have to be very strict, is if the task was supposed to be done yesterday, it will appear red. And those are the parts where you just need to go and ask, hey, what's going on? Why are you not moving forward with this task? And if they need your help, you have to be there. This is how to get organized. This is how to have a whole overview for your team, how to get structured, how to, for you also, how to have overview of the tasks that need to be done. In this section, we're going to talk about Monazar virtual assistants. This is a virtual assistant company that I have built with my personal VAs, given that I have good connections with them and they have a huge pool of talent that they to make sure that business people are not getting scammed. Because in my case, I got scammed like 3 or 4 times from VAs, and I just wanted to have a security and build a security for other people doing the same like me, dropshipping or in e-commerce, or just generally want to outsource some tasks. And I just wanted to make sure that it is scam proof and that I have trained people, and also make sure that I pay fair salaries to the virtual assistants and improve their quality of life. So if we talk about the benefits of Monazar marketing briefly, you will find virtual assistants here who are Shopify trained. They are reliable. It's a very easy payment, like it's a subscription form on the website itself, so you don't have to worry about bank transactions and stuff like that to pay your virtual assistants. The third thing is you're going to have me as a contact person for questions and uncertainties. Contact person, which is a little bit missing for me, for example, on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. And the fourth thing is that you have a 7-day money back guarantee, so you can hire a virtual assistant. But if after 7 days you feel like, hey, I don't need one, or this virtual assistant is not good enough for me or something like that, you immediately get your money back. Hey guys, this is it on how you can hire virtual assistants for your business.
Welcome to the bonus section of the course. My name is Matthias and I'll be walking you through copywriting and creating offers. This means that you learn how to write descriptions that actually make people want to buy the product you're selling, and you'll also learn how to create offers so good that your customer would literally feel stupid saying no to that offer. Copywriting is literally a skill you're going to be using at all times in any online business, and it's not just e-commerce. If you start with e-commerce and then you want to do something as well, aside from e-commerce or on the side, you will need to use copywriting again eventually. It is the only way we can communicate with and persuade people in our stores, so it's a skill you absolutely need to learn if you want to stand a chance at persuading someone that buying your product is the perfect fit for the customer. Put it simply, we're using copywriting to tap into our customers' emotions and push those emotions in the direction of a buying decision. As you can probably tell, in order for us to tap into a customer's emotions, we first need to know what those emotions actually are. And this requires customer research. And don't worry, you're not gonna sit there and scroll through medical papers and all that stuff. I'm gonna present you with 2 very simple ways that you can find these emotions that your customer is having and find them fast. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is Amazon reviews. Search for gym product, because we are moving into the season where home fitness and gym is very important. And I found this Pilates bar. What we're going to do, if I'm going to research if I wanted to sell something similar to this, I would go to this section here that just said ratings. And I could start by looking at these recently used or often used terms that Amazon gives to us. And what we're really looking for here is we're looking for the reason that the customers bought and the reason they liked it. So why they liked the product. So I can look at any of these and say, all right, are these reasons that they like it? All right, it's easy to use. That could be a reason why they like it. Easy to assemble. It's well made. Highly recommend. Again, it doesn't really give us any idea, but we could click on it to see why they highly recommend it. And yeah, so this would be why it's easy to use. Now, these are fine, but they're also very limiting because I want to figure out why people buy these, so why they bought them. And the easiest way to do this is not to read through hundreds of reviews. It's actually to scroll down, click on see all reviews, and then search for the word bought. Now, I already did this beforehand, but we can go through a few of them if you want to. So I bought the Pilates bar to use while traveling in my RV. Okay, so this one is used for traveling. I bought a Walmart one. I like this, but it had issues with pieces popping off, so I bought this one, and this was definitely better. So this one was because the other one kept breaking, so this one was better. Wish I bought this sooner. I have used exercise bands. They work fine, except when I ended up so a band was slapping, so I bought this and it was better. Bought this to use at home, right? I freely admit that I bought this because I wanted the longer bar, so I already had one, wanted a longer bar, so on and so forth. But I've read through these before, and most of the people who buy this bought this for at home. And because the other ones they had were bad quality. Other way we can go about researching is looking into Facebook groups. Now, the way we do this is we simply go and join a Facebook group and start reading and searching in these groups of people who have problems you're trying to solve, have used products, or have product recommendations that we can look at. So the easy way to do that is we just go to Facebook. I searched for Pilates group, clicked on groups, and here are a few groups I can join for people who like Pilates. I can go read through those. I can search in the comments and read through different posts. So this one would be, this is a group for Pilates lovers, teachers, students, and enthusiasts, right? And here we'd go and see, well, what equipment do people who like Pilates recommend? Why did they buy this equipment? Why do they recommend it? Why do they like it? Right? Why they bought it, why they like it. Because these things are important. And you can do it here, Pilates equipment, right? So this is a group where people maybe even talk about Pilates equipment more often. So that will be a great way for us to go in and figure out why do they recommend it, why do they like it, why do they buy it. What we're looking for, as I said before, is the reasons they buy and the reason they like it. And the reason people already bought will be the same reason people buy from you. So if you know why people buy, you will know what to write and what to focus on when you're going to sell this in your copywriting or in your description. From reading reviews, we can see that a lot of people buy the Pilates bar for at home, some for travel, but also because that the other Pilates bars they had, they broke easily, or they wanted to not have just resistance bands, right? They wanted something high quality, something sturdy. This brings me to the copywriting formula we're going to go to. Now, it's called AIDA, and it stands for Attention, Interest, Desire, Action. Copywriting formula is, in the simplest terms, a guiding line for how to write what and when to write it. Don't worry, I'll show you an example store after I've gone through this entire AIDA section of how it's actually used by a real life brand to get really good results, right? Some have variations of this AIDA, but they all basically use the same segments in the same order. Again, there are some people who move around with some stuff to experiment, and that's fine. But they all use the AIDA formula. Now we're going to start with the first one, the A, and that stands for attention. Attention is the very first thing your customer will see on your page. In terms of copywriting and the description, that will be the product title. This is the most important one to get right, because if you don't get your customer's attention, it doesn't matter what you show or write after that, because if you don't have their attention, they will leave your page within 3 to 4 seconds. So everything else you've done, if you don't grab their attention, is absolutely useless if you don't manage to actually make them stay. And you do that by grabbing their attention. And in terms of writing, that's the title of your product. Now, the easiest way to accomplish this is, instead of writing just the product name, we would write the main benefit of the product or make a claim in the product's title. So instead of just writing, if you take the Pilates bar example, instead of just writing Pilates bar or your brand name and then Pilates bar, we would instead write something like world's sturdiest at-home Pilates bar. This way we incorporate that it is a Pilates bar, but we also touch on that it's for home use, because remember, people want to use it for home workouts and at home, and that it's sturdy, because we also saw people talked about that the other Pilates bar they used broke. So we make a claim that it's the world's sturdiest at-home Pilates bar. So we hit the things that's important to them, and we make a claim, and we mention it's a Pilates bar. That way we grab their attention and they want to learn more. And that brings us into the interest section. So here we literally just talk about the product's features, benefits, use cases, and how it works, and then so on and so on. And this part is typically the longest, as this is where you describe how this product will actually benefit your customer and why it will benefit your customer, how to maybe use the product, like how it works, where to use it, so if there's specific places they can use it, and also talk about what it is they're getting with this product. Like, so if it's the Pilates bar, they get the bar and the resistance bands, for instance, right? Might also talk about saying, why is it important to use a Pilates bar over something else? This is where we generate, funnily enough, interest in the product and what we're selling for the customer. One thing I want to mention is that whenever you write about a new topic, that could be use case, it, how it works, where to use it, the benefits, it's important that you segment those into different sections with their own sub-headline. So it's easy for the customer to scroll through your page and find the information that they're looking for, because not all customers look for the same information. Maybe for some customer, how it's used is more important. But for another customer, the important thing is that it doesn't break, and they want to be able to see that it's maybe designed the right way so it doesn't break. If you want to get examples, is we could write how easy it is to set up for home usage, right? How quickly you can do it and how easy you can do it. You might write a section about how we designed it so it won't break. Or you might write a section about how you can easily increase or decrease the resistances in the resistance bands. Or we might even make a section where we compare our Pilates bar to other Pilates bars to show that ours is a lot better and doesn't break and all that stuff. And then we get to the desire section. Again, don't worry, I'm going to show you a example store that you can take inspiration from that shows you how they structure the copy, how they start with attention, then do interest, the desire, and action. But after interest, we get to the desire. Now, the desire section is probably the simplest and easiest one to create, but it's also the second most important one, because up until now, we've gotten their attention, which is the most important thing, but having their attention doesn't mean that they want to buy. First, they want to have an interest. So we gave them an interest in our product by talking about the features, benefits, use cases, so on and so on. But they still don't have a desire for it. They don't desire the product. And we need them to desire the product before we can ask them to take action and then purchase it. Now, there are a few steps in the desire thing that we need to take care of. So there are reviews, offers, guarantees, FAQs. And this is also the order that we want it to come in. The very first thing we do is we give them our customer reviews or testimonials, and as many as possible. Now, if you're using a Shopify theme and not building like a landing page or a sales page, then you can either copy paste some of the reviews in quotation marks in the description, or you can refer them to where you have like the Looks app or whatever app you use for reviews. It could be further down or in a tab. You can say we have reviews here, so they can go and view those. Or you can have screenshots from your Looks reviews or your Facebook reviews and post them in the description. It's not really important which one you choose, but it's important that you mention that you have a bunch of reviews, because that's social proof, and having other people like the ones who are viewing your page having success will increase the desire to also have that success. So after we've shown our reviews, it's time to highlight and talk about our special offer if we have one. This is where you could talk about the free ebooks you might have, your bonus physical products, or whatever else you might have as your special offer. If you don't have a special offer, you can also simply highlight the discount you're giving. If you didn't work on a more unique or special offer, you can simply just do that and that will work just fine. The important part here is that you remind them or show them that you have an amazing offer, because that will also further increase the desire to see, wow, this is a great offer. Boom, more desire. After that, we're going to write our guarantee. The type of guarantee that we recommend is covered in the offers part of the course. But this is the place where you write it in the copy. Now, if you have a standard 30-day, 100% money-back guarantee, then you need to write it after you have showed the offer. Again, some people will write it above the offer, but a lot of people will, instead of doing it above the offer, they will actually do it above the reviews. So this is guaranteed, then the reviews. Now, the reason I recommend doing the guarantee after the offer is simply because you increase the desire and then remove the risk, which in turn gives more desire. I do, however, recommend you put more thought into guarantee than just having a standard 30-day 100% money back guarantee, as it can boost your sales overnight having a great guarantee. I'll show an example later on how you need to structure the guarantee. It's very, very, very simple to do, and I'll show you that on the example page I'm also going to show you. Quick note is that, again, you can choose to have the guarantee above the reviews or above the offer. Now, the last thing you need in your desire is an FAQ. Now, an FAQ doesn't necessarily increase desire, but it does make sure that the desire doesn't decrease. Because there are things in your copy, like in the interest section, that the customer might not have read. They might have scanned through it because that wasn't as important, or maybe they didn't read it thoroughly or they forgot. So you want to have an FAQ to answer all the other questions that your customers might have, because one of the number one reasons someone don't buy after reading an entire page of descriptions and sales copy is that there was missing information that was important to them. Having an FAQ and creating one is super easy, because if we go back to the Amazon page here and we go to the product page, there is a little section that says 23 answered questions. This is literally an FAQ. You can copy and paste with some edits these into your own FAQ. And you have an FAQ of real life questions that people asked on Amazon on a product that has 2,000 reviews. What you can also do, if you know there are competitors, you can take inspiration from your competitors in terms of what type of frequently asked questions they have. You can also look at Facebook comments on your ad, competitors' ads, see what questions they're asking about the product, and make sure that they're answered in an FAQ. All right. The last one is action, and it is as simple as asking them to buy. It's also the last step of copywriting. Now, here in actions, we simply tell people to get your product by clicking add to cart or get mine now, whatever it says on your button. If you want to put more effort into the action section, which I recommend you do, you can also restate your main benefits and end off with saying get yours now, click add to cart and whatever. So if you take the Pilates by example still, you could say something like, if you want to get a good workout burn from the comfort of your home, then get the sturdiest at-home Pilates bar that not only allows you to get started in seconds, but also works out your entire body. Simply click add to cart, and we'll ship it to your door in as little as 5, 10, 15, 20 days, whatever your shipping time is, right? Now, the words you use will depend on the product itself, right? So if you write about the Pilates bar, you will use the words that you read about in the description, but also you're going to see what the features and benefits are, like you would use the resistance bands and how to use them. So that, of course, differs from product to product. And as you can see, it's not a hard process. It's really just 4 steps, more or less, you need to fulfill. If you take them one at a time from the top, it's going to be very, very easy. This, however, does take time, but trust me, it's 100% worth it to put the right time into copywriting, as this is literally how most big businesses are built. Now, I quickly want to say, before moving into the, depending on how simple your product is, you need to write more or less copy, or more or less text. For a product that has technology involved, you might want to have to write more, so that whenever you say, oh, this does this amazing thing, you need to provide proof that makes it believable. So if the technology, let's say, was a weight loss slimming device, you would need to tell them how it worked and why it worked that way in order for them to believe you. But if you're selling a whiskey glass, it's just a whiskey glass. Like, they know how to use a glass. But what you might want to talk about instead is just the design of it and how it was made, right? Maybe the history behind it, if there is something like that. And that would require a lot less text than the slimming device. Now, you still have to go through attention, interest, desire, action. So the attention would still be in the headline. The interest would then, for something like a whiskey glass, instead be the story behind the design. The desire will still be the reviews, your offer, and a guarantee, and an FAQ. And then the action would just be asking them to buy. So a whiskey glass might have 5 lines of text, while a slimming device might have 50. because they need to prove more things. And when you look at that, the product's title is not just air purifier, it's world's best portable air purifier, right? There's a reason this text here is the biggest. It's because it's the most important. And this is what grabs their attention. Then they have some extra like graphical stuff that's just supported. But this is really what's important. Now, the next thing is that they go into the interest. And as I also told you, that they have a different section with a headline for every different thing they talk about, so that people can scan through it easily. But what you don't see can still hurt you. So they talk about why it's important to have this, right? Again, you can take inspiration, have something similar about a Pilates bar if you wanted to. Why it's important to have a Pilates bar when you do Pilates. And you would talk about that. And then after that, they tell you how the product works, right? So what does it do? What is the benefit? It protects your respiratory system, right? That's the benefit. But how does it do that? And then again, because this is a technological product, they have to explain how it actually works. Again, for something like a whiskey glass or a Pilates bar, you don't really need this because the concept is very simple. But here it's not simple, so they have to walk people through it, right? Again, we're still building interest in the product. First, we're saying, okay, so this is why I need it. This is what it does for me. This is how it does it. And here are all the things that's great about it. So benefits, it's portable. You can take it in your car. It's create a healthy working environment. You can take it with you to the office. It basically helps you breathe better in your bedroom. So I guess it's also, helps sleep. And this thing here is perfect for every room in your house. Now, this one is something you really don't need most of the time, but the reason it's cool here, and I quickly want to point this out, is because this not only serves the point of saying it's great for these locations, this actually also helps increase the average order value for this company, because they're saying, well, you should actually get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these instead of just 1 or 2, because you need one for each of these types of rooms. So if you have 5 bedrooms, you might have a lot more of these, right? So this has a double purpose of showing that it's great everywhere, but also that you need one for every room, meaning you need to buy more of these. Give yourself and those around you a video explaining how it works, because this, again, just saying, oh, this is going to clean your air, people won't believe them. So they have to put a lot of extra work into making people believe the claims they are making. And with the Pilates bar, something more simple, you won't need an entire video like this at all. And then they tell them what's included in the package. Again, you would normally do this too. What is included? Well, you get 1 bar and resistance bands with the Pilates bar. You get 1 whiskey glass with a holder or whatever. The desire section. Now, what they've done is they slapped the offer and the guarantee above reviews. Again, you can do that, and they have the guarantee. Now, for the guarantee, I talked about, I would show you how to structure it. What we want is, I don't really like this way of doing it. I think that it's because they have a lot of other information they want to get out there. But you want an icon so it's easy to spot. I typically have it as a section for of my own, kind of like reviews. But then you want to have the title of the guarantee. That could be 30-day 100% money back guarantee, or 30-day triple your money back guarantee. So you have the title that grabs the attention. But then you want to kind of explain why you have this guarantee. So here they say, we're so confident you'll love Purifair that we offer a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. Try it today, risk-free. If you don't love it, you can return it within 30 days, no questions asked. If you want to do a conditional guarantee, like the 30-day triple your money back guarantee, we'd say, we're so confident you'll love Purifair that we offer a 30-day triple your money back guarantee. Try it today, risk-free. If you don't love it, you can return it within 30 days to get 3 times your money back. You've done these things. So you're right, as long as you've documented that you've used it for 30 days, right? And you take whatever requirements you set for a conditional guarantee. That's how you would just edit it. It doesn't need to be a super long slab of text. If you do have what's called a conditional guarantee, you can also have a hyperlink that you can read more here, where you write how they need to do all the different things, or how to fulfill the conditions, essentially. Now, what we normally do is we'd have the reviews above here, but they haven't, so that's fine. But they still have the different elements. They just put the reviews further down, right? So in the desire section, which is what started here, we now go through the customer reviews. Now, I believe they have 5 highlighted reviews here. 4 of them Some of them are videos, some of them are images. Videos always work better, but if you don't have videos, you can just use images, and that's perfectly fine. So they have the highlighted ones, which are basically made to specifically target their perfect customer, and then they have all their other reviews down here. If you were to do this in a description, you would maybe highlight the best reviews by just copy pasting them into the description with an image and in quotation marks, and then just having your looks reviews or whatever other app you use somewhere else. Or you can simply just say, hey, go further down or click on the review tabs to read our lovely reviews. We have the frequently asked questions, but again, they're not there to increase desire, but to make sure that there is no decrease in desire. Again, you can see that they have a lot of questions here. And again, you can just copy paste your own in from Amazon and get inspiration from competition on how to make their FAQ. And then at the end, they have an action. Now, what they haven't done here that I would recommend that they do is they have the same thing down here as they had at the very top, right? Except for the icons maybe. Now instead is they could have had world's best portable air purifier and then the text that says they should buy, or click the button below. So if you want to get an air purifier that can do these things, click the button below and we'll ship it to you in this amount of time. That is how that I believe they could have improved this, but it still works for them, so it still works. The point still stands that we start with attention. Now this one is just a slab on offer, but then we start creating interest all the way to down here where we then go to desire. We show our offer, we have our guarantee, and then they also have a shipping, which they also have up here. And then they have the reviews. Again, I would put the reviews up here, but again, that's fine. You can kind of switch them around however you like. The important part is just that they're there. They then have more reviews and an FAQ to make sure that there's no decrease in desire because all questions are being answered. And then an action at the end, asking people to buy again at the end. A real life brand making a lot of money right now. I really recommend just you go through and watch the entire course before you go out and start this. You can always come back here and go through this again and again. Now, when you do copywriting, it's important that you don't skip out on the research, because if you don't research your customers, you have no clue what to talk about. You won't know what FAQs, frequently asked questions, are important. You wouldn't know what it takes to grab their attention. You don't know what they're looking for. And if you don't know what they're looking for, you also don't know what would generate interest, right? So we could say that they want to do it at home, they use it for Pilates, for traveling, and they say it doesn't want to break. They don't want it to break. These are all things that are important, so we're going to talk about these in the interest section because this is what's going to interest them, increase their interest. And only when they have an interest is when they can develop a desire. And again, the desire is made so that when we show people the reviews, they see other people who are just like them, who have a great experience and had great results. Maybe they've got more toned, maybe they lost weight. So now they start desiring the same results they got. Then we show them an amazing offer that's further going to increase the results because, wow, this is so damn good, right? I shouldn't say no. Then you show the guarantee to completely remove all risk and you just ask them to buy. When going through this, I recommend that you start at the top, meaning you start from action. So you write the headline, like you do the research, then you write the headline. Then you start figuring out what do you need to write to generate interest. And you go back to the research you made in terms of reading the reviews and figure out what are important to people. It's easy to use. We saw that a few times. It gets you sore, gets you good workout burn going. It doesn't break. It's sturdy. All these things are important. And you figure out, okay, cool, I want to talk about that. It's sturdy. And you go to the product page and say, why is it sturdy? That's because it's made of this material. Great. You're right about that in the interest section. These are important to talk about why the customer needs it with the benefits, right? So whenever there's a feature, it's sturdy. Why is it important that it's sturdy? It's so it won't break. You'll have a great workout. You won't get damaged. These are the benefits. Offer is, in my opinion, one of the two most important things you will ever focus on, as this is the only reason someone will be able to sell anything. Now, if you have a product, fine, but you're still offering it to someone. You need a great offer to be able to have someone buy it. You can just have a simple discount, just slap a discount on your product and then call it a day. This approach is the laziest least effective, and quite frankly, the least valuable type of offer you can show to a person that just landed on your page. You really don't just want a boring run-of-the-mill offer the customers won't even notice. And trust me when I say that, just simple discounts have been done so much that a lot of customers, they rarely even remember that there were a discount on a product. And some people don't even notice the discount anymore because it's just been done so much. What you really want is an offer so tantalizing that your customers literally want to crawl through broken glass on their bare knees just to get your offer. An offer so good, your customers would feel stupid just for saying no to it. An offer like this is literally what can take a product that's burning through your cash and turn it into a money-making machine that spits out more cash than you know what to do with. I've seen this happen for students and myself many, many times over. Offer like this, because it makes such a big difference, is really not easy to create. It will take you time, and it will take you some research to do, and it definitely requires trial and error, trying different things, switching things around. Don't worry, I do understand that not everyone can spend hours upon hours every day just trying to get an offer right. Some people have families, some people have jobs they need to attend to. So what I've done is I've made sure to include offers that are easy to implement, that does make a difference, and ones that are a bit harder and takes a bit of extra time to implement, but some that still pays off a lot when you get it right. Now, those are what I call base offers, and you can start using these pretty much immediately. Now, the first one I want to talk about is free ebooks and video courses that you're gonna add on as a bonus with your product. This is great as it allows you to give away a digital product, meaning you don't have to pay for shipping or anything, to your customers. That will greatly increase the perceived value for the customer. And the thing is that these pretty much cost you nothing. What you're gonna do is either create them yourself, or you're gonna pay a very small fee to get what's called PLR products. And you only have to pay for those ones, but they will increase your conversion rates forever, essentially. Simply go and search for PLR products, and it stands for private label rights products, meaning you can buy the product and then you can get it home, download it, and you can edit it, put your own branding on it, and sell it as your own. Now, again, just Google PLR products. It doesn't really matter which of these you choose. They all have a lot of the same, some are different. I do, however, recommend you go through a few of them before you choose something specific. I'm just gonna click on this first one here. And what you're gonna do is you're literally just gonna click here, search for whatever you're selling. Example here could be, if we're selling maybe a yoga mat or something like that, we could buy the yoga guidebook for $8. And we only have to pay this once. We can then put our own logo and everything on it. And for anyone who buys a yoga mat, they might want a yoga guidebook. So we could say, hey, this yoga guidebook, you can normally buy it on our store for maybe $20, but you're getting this for free with your purchase. So now we just added a $20, maybe even more perceived value in the customer's eyes that they're getting for free. And you can do the same with video courses. If you search for them, there are videos up here. So there might even be yoga video courses you could sell. So you can say you will even get our $200 yoga video course together with your purchase of this $50 yoga mat. Do you see what I'm talking about? They feel like they're getting $200 extra value for free for just paying $50. For a yoga mat, they would still pay $50 for without anything else. That's gonna make even more people buy, and they're gonna be a lot happier with their purchase. BOGO offers, which stands for buy one, get one offers. You may have heard of these before. BOGO offers is that the more extreme these offers are, and that means buy one, get one, you can say buy one, get one free, buy one, get one 50% off, but the more extreme they are, the better they'll work. And I'll quickly show you how to create BOGO offers very simply in Shopify, and also show an example of what I mean when I say the more extreme they are, the better they'll work. Just keep in mind that if you're going to run what's called a BOGO offer, your customers should already want higher quantities of whatever it is you're selling. So let's say maybe you're going to sell a chair. Maybe you sold a chair, an office chair for a home office. Now, typically people don't need more than one chair for themselves, so a BOGO offer in this case would not necessarily be a good idea. But what if you sold a glass instead? So a nice whiskey glass. Now, people would typically want more than one whiskey glass, so they have a set of 2, 4, or 6. So what you could do is you could say something like, buy 2 whiskey glasses, get 2 for free. Now, of course, when you do this, You need to have your margins in mind. You need to make sure that you're still making money if you do a buy two, get two free. What you simply do is you click on discounts, you click on automatic discounts and click create automatic discount. Then you can title it whatever you want. Just keep in mind that the customers will see this discount name. So don't name it something weird. I typically just say BOGO. You want to click on buy X, get Y. And then this is where you put in the BOGO offer. Let's say in this case, to keep it simple, we're saying buy one, get one free. So we say buy one, and then you're going to click browse and choose whatever product or products that's included in this BOGO offer, and get one free. And again, you're going to choose the product. Now, and you simply just click save discount, and then it's going to happen automatically. Now, keep in mind that for this discount to work, the customer needs to add 2 items to cart. They need to add the one they're going to buy and the one they're going to add for free. Shopify will not automatically add the second item for free if they only add in one. So remember to write that the customer needs to add 2 to cart, and then they'll get one of them for free. Now, I also quickly what I mean when I say the more extreme they are, the better they'll work. I'll talk about this ad from Octobuddy. You've probably seen this around last year, where there was all of these reversible octopus plushies, but the offer they were running, and a bunch of people was running this offer because it worked so damn well, is buy one, get 4 free. That sounds super insane, customer's perspective. If I buy one, I can get 4 for free. That's crazy, and it does sound crazy. It's an amazing offer. That's what I mean when it's the crazier it is, the better. The reason this worked for them is because one of these plushies is pretty small. It's very light, so it costs almost nothing to ship out. The product itself is small, so it's very cheap to buy. If I remember correctly, they sold these for $30. Shipping out 5 of them to customers would cost between $10 to $15, meaning that they made at least $15 profit because they charged $30 when they made this offer. And because it was so good, I can imagine that they got sales for as little as $5, because at the same time this was happening, this product was also trending on TikTok. And these ads were probably being run on TikTok as well. So this is what I mean by saying the more crazy it is, the better. But always, always, always keep your margins in mind. This only worked because they sold one for $30. Selling 5 of them for that price would still make them very profitable. Next thing I want to talk about here is free plus shipping. This is one of those that if you were around in dropshipping around 2016, 2017, you may have remembered the era of free plus shipping when Facebook was super cheap, where you could sell products for free, then charge $6, $7 shipping, and then you would be profitable in the front end. You are very unlikely to be profitable in the front end. You can, however, be break even, which is the goal with this strategy, and I'll talk more about it in a second. Because a free plus shipping offer is undoubtedly the best offer you can run to get the cheapest sales possible. Again, it's very hard to be profitable in the front end with just a free plus shipping offer. So what you will need is a back end. So you need upsells and cross sells. And the way we typically do that is we use an app, one-click upsells by Shopify. There are multiple post-purchase, and they need to have post-purchase available. The goal here is that we're gonna get a customer in the door super cheap, and then we're gonna offer them something related to that product. It could be that we offer them a product for free, and then we offer them more quantities of that one product at a great discount compared to the normal price. We sell them a product, and then we upsell a product to them that boosts the performance of the one they just got for free. Now, we want to keep in mind that when we do the free plus shipping, the product we give away for free is cheap enough so that the shipping we charge, which shouldn't be more than $10, it can be $12 for some products, but I have a rule that it shouldn't be more than $10. So let's say you find a product for $3 and you charge $6 shipping. That gives us $3 profit. And because we're giving it away for free, we will have very cheap cost per purchase. So our goal is to have a $3 cost per purchase or less, which means that we're not losing money, not making money. But whenever we make an upsell, we're profitable from the beginning. The goal is to find upsells that does this. And I quickly want to show an example so you know what I mean. I found this product. Now I want to quickly say that I have not tested this product. I haven't researched whether or not this product is good for the skin or if it works or not. So a fair warning, don't go out and test this specific product without having done research into whether or not it's healthy for the skin and it actually works. Now, what we want to do is you can see that we can have 6 of these varicose vein patches. Varicose veins are something that a lot of people want to get rid of. So we're solving a problem. And for free plus shipping offers, I personally prefer having problem-solving products because first of all, they're easy to sell. If they're free, they're even easier to sell. So we can get 6 patches for $2. I'm just going to round down to $2 to make it simple. And what we might do is we might say you can get these 6 patches for free. They will last you, let's say, 1 patch per day. So they will last you just around a week. And you can get them for free to remove your varicose veins. And we charge $6 shipping, meaning we will get roughly like $3 to $5 profit before Facebook ads. And because we're solving a very specific issue, we're going to target people who have this issue, and they're going to want to get this for free, and we get it very cheap because it's free. Then we could, the upsell using the app, we could say, hey, do you want to buy more of these? So you have 1 year's supply, so you will be free from varicose vein for an entire year. So let's say that you get it for free. The normal price for 6 of these is $20. But now we say, so they get the first pack for free. And now we see on the upsell saying, hey, do you want more of these? But instead of paying $20 as a thank you for actually trying this out, we're going to give you it at a half price for $10 per 6 pieces. And we're going to offer to them to get maybe 60 pieces, or we're going to offer to give them whatever amount of pieces we want. Let's just say 60 pieces. So we say you're going to buy 60 pieces, so they're going to last you 60 days or however many days it's going to last them. Again, you need to do research on this if you're going to sell a product like this. We're going to charge them $10 per 6 patches, so we're going to charge them $60, meaning we now make $8 extra per 6 patches. So we're going to make $80 profit on the upsell, and because they got this for free, they're going to be more likely to take the upsell. This is a concept called reciprocity that every human has. If they get something for free, they feel a bigger need to give back. And this is why free plus shipping offers are amazing, because they get something very valuable, which is also why we want to solve a problem for them. They get something very valuable for free. They just have to pay the shipping. And then now we even offer them a great deal on getting more, so they can be varicose vein free for longer. And because they feel the need to give back, they're like, wow, they're giving me another great deal. I must take this, because I would kind of feel bad if I didn't. This is the psychology going on in the mind, and this is why free plus shipping is so powerful. Imagine you got $5, $3 cost per purchase, and then every other person spent $80 more. That would mean that you on average profited $40 per customer and paid $5 for the sale. And the other good thing is that you get so many customers in the door because it's so cheap to get them, that now you have a huge email list you can simply just use as your own personal ATM. Whenever you have a new product that can solve the problems your customers have, you send them a great deal, you make more money. You see where I'm getting with this? Why it's so powerful? When you do it right, again, it's going to take a bit of testing to find the right free product and the right upsell. But when you do, it's a gold mine. The fourth one we can do is called bonus physical products. Now, I don't have an example here because it's literally just a bonus physical product. Works the best if you can incorporate, but it's also the hardest one to get working right, because you need to find something that is massively valuable to your customers. It has so many benefits to them. It works very well together with what you're selling as the main product as well. But at the same time, you need to make sure that it doesn't screw over your margins. You need to make sure that you're still profitable and profitable enough when you add this product in. It is the one that will work the best when you get it right, but it's also the hardest one to get right because you're limited in terms of your margin. Now, the last one, again, I don't really have an example for that because most of you will have seen this. It's called quantity discount. This one is, again, pretty well known. Weakest one on the list. It will help increase your average order value. So again, if we take the example we had earlier with the whiskey glasses, we might have someone who would buy 2, now instead buy 4, because they would get a higher discount if they bought 4 glasses instead of just 2 glasses. So it will work with increasing your average order value, but it will rarely ever push someone who might buy to definitely buy. It will almost never do that. It will only have someone who will buy, maybe buy more. But I wanted to add it in anyways because it's so easy to set up. If you use a theme like eCommerce Solid, or I believe Beautify have it too, then they are incorporated in the theme, or you can just search for quantity discounts on the Shopify App Store, and you will literally find like a ton of apps that can help you have quantity discounts. Now that you know what base offers you can choose from, we actually need to spice it up a bit more. Even though these are powerful enough on their own, well, at least the first 4 of them are powerful enough on their own to really boost your sales like to an absurd level, we want to make it even better. The way we do that is by incorporating urgency, scarcity, and a killer guarantee. Now, you need to make sure you have at least 2 of these. Have all 3, which would be amazing, but you need to have at least 2 of these. Guarantee, a killer guarantee, is a must, and then you can choose between scarcity and urgency. Now, in case you're not sure what they are, urgency is time related. So you can think the countdown timers you've seen. When you do urgency, it is important that you do it truthfully. Don't just have a repeating countdown timer. It does work sometimes, but it's unethical and it's actually not quite legal. And Facebook doesn't really like countdown timers. They're beginning to look down on those a little bit. What you do want to do with urgency is have a limited time sale. I'm recording this right now on Black Friday, but a great example would be, why do you think Black Friday works so well? Because it's a known, very limited period of time where retailers across the globe, both online and offline, have huge sales. They had huge sales all the time. Black Friday wouldn't be special, but it's because it's a very limited time there's huge sales. And you can have the same effect on your store if you have limited time sales, if you set a specific end date. Now, scarcity is pretty much the same as urgency, but it has to do with availability and limited availability. Now, this could mean that we say we're only going to give this bonus physical product to the first 100 customers, or it could be available to limited stock. We only have 5 of these left. Scarcity that will make people buy because they want to be part of that limited quantity or availability of whatever you're offering. Killer guarantee, I'm going to talk a bit more about that one, because if you've just been using a satisfaction guaranteed or a 100% money back guarantee like the badge and nothing else, I can almost say for certain that having those will have made absolutely no difference in your results. So you need to have them because people need to see them. If you don't have them, it will be negative, but having them will not give you better results than other people who has them at all. That other people also do is at least be more specific, like with a time period, so 30-day 100% money back guarantee, and explain why they got 30 days. So you could say something like, we're so confident in what we have to sell that you can try it risk-free for 30 days. If you don't like it, write us and get your money back within 30 days, no questions asked. This is what's called an unconditional guarantee, because there are no conditions. They will get the money back if they ask. But if you really want to make your guarantee pop and get a chance to literally 3x your sales overnight, and yes, I've seen this happen multiple times, then you need to use a guarantee where your customer thinks that this can't be true, or maybe they're thinking this can't be healthy for the company. Another good rule is that if you're not a little bit uncomfortable giving such a good guarantee, then it's not good enough. These are where you give such a good guarantee, but there are requirements the customers need to fulfill in order for the guarantee to be valid. So an example would be 30-day triple your money back guarantee. Now, let's say we use the varicose vein patches as I showed earlier as an example. We could say we just sold them for like $20 and we said, try these for 30 days and get triple your money back if they don't work. If you haven't gotten reduced varicose veins within 30 days, we'll give you 3 times your money back. Now, what we do here is we'd say, well, the requirements, and we're going to have a guarantee page that we're going to refer them to where they can read more, is we would say, what you need to do is you need to take an image before you start taking them with a timestamp. You need to take an image for every patch, for every time you use a patch as we instruct. So maybe one every other day or whatever you find out if you want to sell those. You're going to have one every other day with timestamps, and then an after you've used all of them with a timestamp, so that we can see if there is a visible difference. Now, the thing is, you're going to set your requirements to fit what the customer needs to do in order to get results. That means that if they want to qualify for the amazing guarantee, they need to do these things. And you know with certainty that if they do these things, the vast majority of the customers will get results, meaning the vast majority of your customers will be happy, which means that in the case of the varicose vein patches, meaning that the vast majority of your customers will come back for more patches and they will not ask for their money back. This is how you do a guarantee the right way. You make it super, super good, so good that the customers feel like instead of having removed risk, they're not only having their risk removed, but they're also gaining an opportunity of making more money if it doesn't work. And you just make sure that the requirements that you set are made so that they guarantee the customer's results. Another great example of a guarantee, this could be for weight loss, would be lose 20 pounds before spring or we'll pay for your dietitian. Again, the reason we say before spring is because in January, we have the fitness burst because of New Year's resolutions. So we could say lose 20 pounds before spring or we'll pay for your dietitian. Additional guarantee where you have conditions that needs to be met and they need to provide proof. Otherwise, they won't qualify for the guarantee. Urgency, scarcity, and then your killer guarantee, or at least urgency and killer guarantee. Again, 2 out of 3 if you remember. You should see a great increase in conversions once you hit the right combination of the offer with your product. Now, this is going to take time and it is going to take trial and error, but once you hit it, you won't regret it. Trust me. Let's say we do the free plus shipping offer for the varicose veins, and we say we only offer it for free according to Black Friday. So let's say Black Friday. Now, this is urgency, right? So people will act because, well, if they don't take this now, it's not going to be available in a week. And then our guarantee might be something like, if they don't reduce varicose vein, if they don't reduce your varicose veins, we will literally pay for you to get them medically removed. That could be your guarantee. What you can also do is you can have your guarantee on the upsell to really to further enforce people to take the upsell as saying, upsell again would be, they would normally cost 20, we're going to upsell them more, but for $10 per 6 pieces, we're going to say, we're so confident that if you don't like these, we're going to give you triple your money back on however many you buy right now. So you can give them the triple money back guarantee on the upsell instead. That was it for creating offers and copywriting. My name is Matthias, and that is this part of the course done.
That brings us to the end of this free Shopify Dropshipping 9-hour course for 2022. But before you guys leave this video, I'm going to ask you and let you know about a few different things. The first thing is the majority of you guys won't need any more additional training, meaning that this free course will give you enough learning to actually get you to go out there and achieve some success. Now, there will be around about 20 to 30% of you guys that are watching this free course and you've watched it a few times that are really struggling to put the pieces together. Or you might be this other person where you've watched this free course and you've been able to achieve some great results, but you want to take those results to the next level. Now, if you're either one of those people, then the mentoring program might be a great option for you, because we can help people that have seen some good results take it to the next level, whether it be 6 figures or 7 figures. Or if you're somebody that's just really struggling to put the pieces together, we can also help you get through this process. I will leave a link in the description and in the Google Doc sheet so you guys can apply for the e-commerce mentorship program. And when you apply for it, as long as you meet the criteria, you'll get on a free call with one of the mentors to see if you're a good fit for the mentoring program. The second thing that I want you guys to think about before you go is to show some appreciation to this free course, and not just to myself, but to everybody else that contributed to this free course. Because as you guys know, every module was looked after by a different coach and different mentor. So make sure when you show your appreciation, you don't just thank me, but you thank everybody else that contributed towards this free course. Now, that could be by you guys leaving a really nice comment, that could be by you guys liking the video or even sharing it. Now, that does bring us to the end of this completely free Shopify Dropshipping 2022 course, and I want to say a massive shout out to the e-commerce mentoring team for making this possible. And I hope you guys have learned something, and I hope you guys are able to take this and put it into action, and we'll catch you guys next year in the